Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Wednesday, and we are here for 6&20 Metropolis. It is the season finale. It is Greg's birth week, and it is Greg's last day here in Metropolis. So, we'll see how that works out for everyone. Only time will tell. And if an army of wooden soldiers marches on Metropolis and conquers it, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Hold on. I do not want this entire episode to be about Greg playing with his wood. Let's be completely clear here.
Hasn't every episode?
I'm not. I know.
I'm not coming back next season if it's not all about Greg's wood.
Yeah. Show's canceled.
As someone who's trying to save his wood from evil.
Yeah. I'm here trying to redeem Greg's wood.
I mean, look, if there's one
My
thing we
wood
don't
does not
want,
need
it's
redeeming.
cursed
Yeah.
wood.
It's glorious.
If anyone can redeem your wood, Greg, it's a child.
Fudge!
And with that, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
Oh, my name's Greg Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, I will be playing Gephardt Caporelli. Well, maybe not the last time, but last for a while. As Gephardt is going to go one of two ways. Is he going to become, as some may think, redeemed? Or is he going to go full wood and become a villain? Chat, I'll listen to you. Whatever you'd like, I will go that way. Limp or wood? Let's talk about it, but we'll see what happens in the next 3 hours.
Damn it, where was Trindane for that intro?
I wasn't ready for that myself.
I'm sure it's clipped. You can enjoy it many times later.
Clip it.
You know, he's going to clip it himself. Probably the most concerned with Greg's wood. Mr. Ninja, who are you? Where can we find you, and who are you playing today?
I'm Xmas Ginger Ninja. I'm going to be continuing my role as Flora. I missed you guys last week. I missed your shenanigans. Least of all the wood jokes, but I did miss you guys.
There were so many puns.
Oh, yeah. I was there-ish, in spirit. But I'm super excited for today's episode. And, Greg, if you make me cry during a second finale, we're not friends anymore.
I think they are. You can't say no friends and then leave me with a segue for Sam. So Sam, I'm sorry, you don't get a cool segue today because Machine Ninja screwed you on that one. So Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I am Sam. Twitch.tv/WizenFool. Twitter @TheWizenFool. I'm playing JP today. JP is determined today to finish Gephardt off and make sure that his wood ends up soft.
It's gonna take multiple finishings off if that's.
Oh yeah.
Course
Wow.
go. If that's the course you're plotting, follow that star. Second one on the left for morning.
Johnny, I'm sorry, but also familiar with soft wood. Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And tell us about 6&20 Metropolis. Listen, you know how the segues work. It's a simple process. Season 2's canceled.
Season 2 is now canceled.
I don't know. I don't have any words. You know what 6&20 is. You know who I am. I'm so glad that everybody's here today, and I'm so sad that Greg is leaving because I really wanted to kill him later on in the season, too. But that's me.
We can have Greg back for a one shot to play.
Oh no! We got good stuff going on.
Can
Anyways,
we do a Titanic style?
as long as you play the Leo DiCaprio to his, Kate, not Beckinsale, Kate
Winslet.
Is his son the door that's dead that I'm leaning on?
He's gonna be your French girl to draw.
Heyo, I can't draw. You're fucked.
Can't draw to save his life, or sir. Anyways, please get a start out of here, Mike. Stop playing on your phone.
No, I was just liking some Instagram posts that you tagged me in. That was it. So yeah, guys, this is the season finale of 6&20 Metropolis over here on the unMadeGaming channel. There's still one more show tomorrow on Not So Speedruns. Yeah, if you guys want,
there's a one shot this weekend.
then there's a one shot, but that's a different season. That's a whole different thing. There is a one shot this weekend because there's a 12-hour stream for charity this weekend, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. At 4 p.m. Eastern, you can see more 6&20 Metropolis. Some shenanigans will happen, I assume. And if you guys want a chance to get your hands on a copy of this book, you can go to cityofmist.co/store, and you can buy that and use the code 6&20fan, get $5 off. And I think that's it, guys. Check in the donation section down below for all the shit you can do. And Johnny, take us away.
I feel like there's some other announcement that you missed, but now I can't. Yeah, okay.
No,
All right.
We'll figure it out. We have 3
Guys,
hours.
did you hear that Greg's leaving?
Yep.
Did you hear he abandoned us?
That's true.
Okay. As long as everyone knows.
We didn't tell Greg until right now, though.
That he abandoned us, yeah.
That he abandoned you, yeah. So, previously on 6&20 Metropolis, pirates were fought. What was the damn thing's name? Something Tron? Woodtron?
Moltron.
Moltron.
Moltron was formed. It held onto a flying ship. More pirates were fought. A dragon was revived after it was dead. A pirate was tricked. A pirate and a dragon were now serving Gephardt as Malcolm is unconscious, and little Malcolm is now free in the world. Oh, and there's this little thing called the Green Fairy kind of hanging out, to which Flicker alluded to at the end of last episode to JP. It's Malcolm's sister. And that's where we fade in. JP, in your hands, you have a little fairy.
Yes, she told me to get out of there and hide the fairy, so I will do so before Gephardt gets back.
Funny enough. And walks Gephardt.
Oh, Gephardt doesn't walk in. Gephardt was last seen on the back of a motherfucking dragon. And because I get one chance to Games of Thrones this shit, I am going to sweep in on Puff the Magic Dragon as Gephardt, arms wide, king of the motherfucking world, flies in, lands in front of his workshop, with his pirate friend being brought in on the back of his son Pinocchio, a construct of biblical proportions, enough to put any movie vehicle by The Rock to shame. Talk about Rampage. Fuck yourself, Dwayne. He dips the door and walks in. Hello, everybody.
JP quickly tucks the fairy away in his jacket. And he is going to look at Gephardt and just go, what the fuck, man?
Watch your language in this house of the Lord. This is a church, JP. A sepulcher to the future.
I guess I had you pegged all wrong, Gephardt. You just left me and Malcolm there. You had more important things to do. You just told
What
me
are
to
you
take
talking
Malcolm
about?
and go.
We are victorious. Malcolm is here.
He's still unconscious.
He's not dead. We will revive him with the help of Flora. You, my friend, are doing fine. We battled a ship full of brigands and buccaneers. They are now getting colder and not older. I say that we should raise our own flags, as this is a grand victory.
What?
Oh, the first of many, perhaps.
What's going on with you? I've only known you for 5 days, and even I can tell something's wrong. 2 days ago, when Malcolm fell unconscious, you were weeping over his body. Now you're celebrating victory?
Malcolm is and chooses to be a soldier, JP. Do not be belied by his size or his stature. This is no boy in front of you. You know this. This is a force of nature.
A force of nature I chose to have you protect. Flicker steps up.
I was wondering when the assholes would show up and think of the devil, and there she is. Flicker, you left him in my care, knowing full well what both his nature and mine were capable of. Don't play stupid with me, young lady.
There is no stupid... Gephardt, I left him in your care because I thought you understood the gravity of the situation. I know how powerful you are, and I understand how powerful he is. He needed a father figure. He needed guidance.
He needs a purpose. You are talking about, as I, before you rudely interrupted, was telling JP, this is a force of nature. He does not adhere to guidance and suggestion, and especially not rules. What this one likes is an X at the end of a map. I have provided him with that X. That is focus. That is the best you can hope for, Flicker.
That is the focus of someone with ambition. Someone with a purpose. But that's not the focus of a father figure, of nurturing and caring. He's childlike, but you know he is not a child. And you know that he needs true, real guidance until he can be shown the truth. I'm so disappointed in you, Gephardt.
The truth? Whose truth?
His
Flicker.
truth.
His truth. Okay. And what made you think that I could be your defined point-by-point check off all the boxes father figure? Why couldn't you have made it JP? He has as much experience as I in this vested role that you would put a cap on.
You
I
were a
am
father
here to
once.
guide him. What?
You were a father once to 2 wonderful children.
What are you talking about? You've lost your mind, Flicker. I suggest you find it before you come back into my house.
JP, help me take Malcolm away. It's time.
Gephardt, I have no idea what happened to you. And honestly, Flicker, don't try to pretend you're blameless in this. All you do is show up with cryptic warnings and ridiculous expectations without explaining anything. You're just as much to blame in all of this. This is ridiculous. I've been involved with this for 5 days, and even I can see that. Gephardt, I'll be
JP.
back. We're gonna work through whatever the hell is going on here, but I need to take Malcolm. I'm going to Chief.
JP, look at me. I do not trust this one, and he points a finger at Flicker. I never have. You know this. I do not trust her wishes for the boy. I will guard him here. You need to bring Flora back. That was our mission. Bring her back here. And I swear no harm will come to Malcolm. Especially not from this one.
He's troubled, JP. He doesn't remember his family. He
She
doesn't
is
remember
lied.
his past.
She has no idea about my past. She knows nothing about you, nothing about Malcolm, nothing about me, nothing about Flora. She cares not for us. We are tools on her workshop, her bench.
JP, you know that I'm trying the best that I can to get you the information that you need. I introduced you to Marty. Not directly, but I gave you a direction to go. I know more about your past. I'm trying to help, but you have to understand, it's more than just you and Malcolm and Flora and Gephardt.
It's supposed to be crumbs, and we're to reward her with these
This
nuggets
isn't
of
crumbs.
with blind loyalty. I have had enough, Flicker. You live your life, what's left of it, on your own. You come to me for help, for puppets to take your place because you are incapable of protecting yourself, and yet you expect me to give you reins over this boy, over JP, over Flora? You must come through me, Flicker, if you wish to harm any of them. I am done with you in your machinations, in your tales. This is not a once upon a time. No, this is my story.
With that, Flora walks in right behind him.
Is it your story, Gephardt? Or is there someone else in control? Someone else whispering little sweet nothings in your ear?
That one was you, Flicker, when you promised your lies and your tricks and your half-truths, the ones that you have given JP, the ones that you have given to Flora, that have not aided her, but have given more questions to her, as they have to me, as they have to Malcolm. You are not wanted here. Go weave your lies and tales with some other group.
Gephardt, I don't trust you any more than I trust her right now. Flora is the only one who seems to be in her right mind.
I can speak for myself as well. You're not yourself. You were a good person, Gephardt, when you remembered your family. If you don't trust her, that's fine, but don't speak for me.
Then let us speak the truth, as Flora is here to make sure that that happens. You are not taking Malcolm. Now, we can do this as friends and companions and soldiers at arms if you would like to aid him with your abilities. But he does not leave this shop.
What are you doing, Gephardt? Why? What?
I am protecting the boy from her, not from you. JP, you are to protect him when I am gone. I have told you this. Flora the same. She is twisting us, making us forget our bonds as soldiers.
I will give you exactly what you want to earn the trust. And she looks to JP and to Flora, of them. It is their choice to protect Malcolm, to help you, because clearly you are gone. She looks to JP. You know what you need to do. She looks to Flora. I'm sorry you're in the middle of this. You have your own troubles. But protect JP. Protect Malcolm. From him, from me, whoever. But just protect him. And you see wings appear on her back for the first time, fully extended, and she begins to flutter up. Taking one last look at Gephardt, shaking her head.
His eye flares blue.
And moving away. And as she does, she's surrounded in a red aura.
Get used to that color if you come back here.
And she's gone.
Where's Malcolm? Can I see him?
He's unconscious on the workbench, and there is another Malcolm that you cannot see.
That's what I was about to ask. Where's little Malcolm?
She's going to take Malcolm. She's going to pull her gloves up even farther. You guys have never seen her gloves go up this far. She unrolls them and pulls them to cover under her dress and continues to pull them up and goes to pick him up. And when she does, she looks to the rest of you. I'm going to take him with me and fix him. Don't follow me. I'll contact you once he's okay.
Very well, Flora. If we are having agreements, and we are not talking as friends, but we are talking as business associates. When Malcolm is given the choice to decide upon where he will light, you will allow him to make his choice.
What choice? Why does it need to be like this?
I will make a deal with Gephardt and Gephardt only. And you see her turn her back to him and leave with Malcolm carrying him.
Where's little Malcolm?
He's standing next to JP, and as she leaves, he looks at JP and says, "Where's the lady taking him?"
JP can't respond because he doesn't want to give away the existence of little JP to Gephardt. So he's going to, stands there. Go ahead.
Can Gephardt see little Malcolm?
Nope. Actually,
can Gephardt's left eye see little Malcolm?
yes. If Flicker can see little Malcolm, then you could see him. Then your eye could see him as well.
So JP will say, Gephardt, I'm gonna need some time to think about all this. I don't know what the hell happened to you. I don't know what the hell happened to us, but you gotta, whatever the hell's going on, I need more than what you're giving me. This is ridiculous. The reason I put my trust in you is what I saw when we were that night at the office building when Malcolm passed out. I felt like I saw the true Gephardt there, but I maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't know who you were at all. Maybe this is just you. I need some time to think. I'm leaving.
Very well. Leave the boy.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's lying, obviously.
Yes, and Gephardt knows that. Very well. And Gephardt goes over and kneels down beside little Malcolm. And if able, puts his arm around his shoulder. Don't worry, son.
So I think you can put your arm there, but it goes right through. He's not a physical construct.
Right, so he's just going to rest it there as
yeah.
if he's...
And when you say don't worry, he looks up to JP, kind of concerned. He gives you a young child's, like, who is this stranger face?
It'll all be okay, buddy.
Are we going somewhere, or are we staying here?
We're gonna go. I need some time to think. I'll be back.
The boy will be safe here. And he summons over all of the little trinkets and birds and spinning tops and Ferris wheel horses that ride by themselves as they come over and kind of float around the boy, even though they would pass through him if he reached out to them. We have plenty to keep us occupied.
Is this okay? He looks up to JP again.
As you said, Gephardt, it's his decision. What do you want to do, buddy? You can come with me if you want.
I'm sorry, mister. And he looks over to Mr. G. And he says, I have to go with my family, and this guy said he could take me to my family.
My boy, I know your family.
You do?
Of course.
Do you know where they are? Can you take me there?
I don't know what he's done to your sister. And he points to JP in the creature that he is currently holding in his hand.
He's keeping her safe.
She doesn't look safe.
Well, you know.
What? What are you? Why, Gepard? Are you trying to make me your enemy? I don't understand.
The floor beneath JP's feet would start to move like a treadmill towards the front of the building. Oh, I guess you have to leave. We'll see you. Might want to leave his sister so we can make sure that she gets well. Feed her a tea drop full of honey.
JP's gonna hop a little bit, and then as he comes down, his feet just crash through the floor.
I have a question mechanically for Mike about little Malcolm because when it was talked about last week.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't forget.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Why, Gepard? Why are you trying to make me your enemy? I don't understand.
Because you can't make a decision, JP. You haven't been able to make a decision in the 5 days that you continue to bring up that I have known you. Am I a clone? Am I not a clone? I've met a clone. Should I do anything? I'm not sure. It's time for you to make a decision. If that's striking me, JP, if that is bringing a war to somebody that has only ever told you the truth, then by all means, take your shot. But if perhaps I do in fact have Malcolm's best interest in heart, then why don't you help me? Or at the very least, watch. I'm not telling you to turn your back on the boy, or Flora, or me for that matter. I'm asking for your support, JP. You've had some pretty crazy shit happen as well, but I have always been there, have I not?
Gepard, let's not pretend I'm the one escalating this here. I'm trying very hard not to. I tell you what, I'll stay
Have
here.
a seat. JP, have a seat. You do not have to leave. You are not taking the boy because I do not trust Flicker. I am keeping him safe, and I am keeping you safe if you stay here.
Fine. We'll both stay then, I suppose. JP just like sits down. He's just like glaring at Gepard.
You see a text from Flora, whether or not you answer it. It just says, "Get in the car, I'm around the corner."
Yeah, he'll send a text back. He's just gonna text back, can't leave Malcolm. Explain later.
Flora texts him back, "I have someone who might be able to help, but you're not gonna like it. Sad face."
JP's just gonna text back, "I don't care." Do whatever.
She texts Mr. Anatoly.
Okay, so we're gonna cut to Flora. What's the text that you send to Anatoly?
So she's sitting in the back of a car waiting for the driver to go, told him to wait. And she's like, "Go." And so as she has Malcolm's head resting in her lap and he's just unconscious on the back seat, she's playing with her phone back in her hand, looking out the window. And then she sees the text back, "Do whatever you want." And she texts him, "I may have information. He's gone too far this time."
Where's the car going when you send this text? Where did you instruct the car to go?
Home.
Okay.
She has herbs and things in her garden that she can pick and take care of him and help him rest and keep him safe.
Okay. So as the car begins to take off and you're heading in the general direction, you get a text back from him. Information about whom?
Let's just say this is still a business meeting. Come to my place. And she texts him her address.
The response is an unexpected development, given how dinner ended. I'm intrigued. I'll see you in an hour.
When she gets back to her house, she lifts Malcolm, brings him through her house, which is always dimly lit with candles. There's no electricity. There's just a huge fire going. She lays him down, starts the fire, lifts him up again, and while it's warming up, she brings him outside and sets him in the garden in a comfy area she usually lays out in with a bunch of blankets and pillows and things. And she goes back inside, and you just hear as things are just breaking, and she's shoveling through as she finds a bar of chocolate, goes outside and nestles it under his pillow. And she goes to start getting her bag together so she can take care of him and, tend to him.
Okay. So we're going to cut back to Mr. G. JP is currently staring at you.
Staring, tapping his foot.
Little Malcolm is probably a little concerned.
Yeah, he just kind of looks back and forth. It's typical for him in this current state to be experienced with adults fighting, and he just remains quiet and watches the fight happen.
Gephardt would stand up and he would say, "Who wants tea? JP, I know you like tea. I can make some. I'll put a pot on." And then he walks over and he pulls from what is an umbrella rack, really. He pulls out a tube back from, and he doesn't realize this, his days as a city inspector, and he pulls a map of the city out, and he sweeps the table of some loose pieces of wood. As he rolls it out, reaches down, pulls some blocks out, blocks the corners, and he looks down at Malcolm and says, "The city, my little friend. Somewhere in this city are your parents. We must figure out where they are. This is a map.
I know.
Do you have any ideas?" And he says, "All you need to do is point. JP here." And he just tosses like a marker to JP. "This, JP will help you. Any place that you say, he will cross off as not being a place where your parents could be, but any places that they may be, he will put a question mark. And we will jump on my dragon, and we will fly and find them. So let's start. It's called the process of elimination."
We're gonna wait for Flora to get back.
JP is cranky. He has not had his tea. And he pulls another marker out and he goes, "I will help you, because JP needs to sit and do nothing until he gets his tea. So I will put a pot on, and when it whistles, that means that JP won't be so cranky. So until then, let's look at this magnificent city, and where on this city could be your parents. And then we will fly on a dragon to find them."
He looks over to JP the entire time this is going on in like a concerned kind of like, is this okay? The same "is this okay" look he's been giving you. But he eventually looks back to the map and he says, "Do you know where the university is?"
I do.
Well, my dad works there.
Is he a teacher? Is he a principal or somebody that is a maintenance worker or maybe a librarian?
He's really smart. And he knows a lot of stuff about things. And he tells me about treasures, and he tells me about really old places, and some old places that he wants to go see, and some other old places that he's seen before, and treasures that the old places have, and yeah.
Let me say this. If I say this word, you tell me if it sounds right.
Okay.
Archaeologist. Does that sound similar to what he calls himself?
I think
Or is
so.
he, well, let's just say he's smart. Maybe he's
Okay.
a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. So he writes on the map, "teacher," right over the portion of the city that's marked for the university, and a question mark.
Okay.
Good. We're making progress, Malcolm.
We will find him before you know it.
Do
You're
you
doing a fantastic job.
do you know where the big scary old library is with the statues?
We went
Is
there.
this the city library or the?
The one it's
The
the one
one-
in the old quarter.
We went there together. Remember, Malcolm?
Ooh,
I don't remember.
JP speaking up before the whistle. We must have drawn him in. Look at this. It's an adventure, everyone. JP, you've been given a marker. Jump up. Waddle your ass over here and let's see if we can put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the scary library is all the books, and it smells old. And there's the scary statues, and there's a big fat guy that works there, and he talks a little angry. But my mom and dad know him. Maybe they're friends with him. Maybe they're there.
Gephardt looks up at JP and the left eye flares in a 5-point star.
Do you know what he speaks of, JP?
Do I? Sam came.
He's essentially describing a slightly younger version of the man you saw when we went to when we went to the library.
Oh
We
yeah.
got the book on dragons.
JP just nods.
Yeah, I mean the only thing you might notice, JP, is that Malcolm describes him as much younger. He like describes him like brown hair. He's fat. that's pretty much all he's got. The high notes, but you know him to have like grizzled white hair, and he's an old dude. And then the only other place that I know about is there's a museum, right?
What was in the museum? Were there pictures or were there
ancient treasures, and from the old places that my dad goes and knows about, and they bring the treasures back. And then there's pretty pictures, and then there's ugly pictures, and then there's really cool statues, and there's really scary statues, and there's like a statue of a guy like this, and he's laying down. There's all kinds of stuff.
So he circles the Natural History Museum.
here? The
Yeah.
university and the library.
Yeah, that's
Look
where
at
my mom.
that.
That's my mom works.
At where, the museum?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what she did? Did she take care of these pieces? Did she dust them and clean them and put them on display?
She was a curer.
She was in charge. She put the displays up, let everyone know about our past.
Okay.
This is fantastic. You're doing a great job, Malcolm. And JP, you're doing a good job too, and I know you haven't had your tea, so that is something to be proud of.
Good job, JP.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Yeah. That's it. Unless you know where a wizard is, or a sorcerer.
Malcolm or Gephardt leans down into Malcolm's face.
A wizard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mom got sick, and there was a wizard that said that they could make her all better, but he needed something very special, and so my dad had been going on adventures to find the special thing. I think it's like a treasure.
It was a treasure. Do you know where this wizard lives?
No. It's a big, scary building.
Would you know it if you saw it again?
I think so.
Would your friend at the library know it?
Oh, he might. He's real smart too, and he reads a lot of books, and he knows about all the books. Yeah. He knows about adventures. And my dad talks to him about adventures, and maybe the places that you can go for adventures to find treasures that will help my mom. Maybe he knows.
Well, I think that we have a lot of things that we can do. Find your parents, and maybe at the same time, we can find what will help your mother. This is a grand quest.
Okay. My dad told me not to go because adventures are dangerous, but you look like a big adults that could help.
Absolutely, and we can help your father.
Okay.
He looks over at JP.
Shall we go to the library, JP?
I already told you, Gephardt. We're staying here until Flora gets back.
He hasn't had his tea.
He goes over just as the pot begins to whistle, and he pulls out a styrofoam cup, pours the water in as he's still looking at Malcolm, and he takes out a tea bag.
Don't worry about it. As soon as he gets a little of this in the old system, he'll be ready for adventures. He'll be going to all 4 points of the compass.
I'm not kidding. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here, but I'm going to need you to make some concessions too.
Concessions? This boy's parents are missing. And you wish us to sit around? Here's your tea. Drink it. Imbibe of the fruit of the leaf, and then we will proceed around this city, find this boy's parents, and perhaps maybe find this wizard he speaks of. A wizard is a very powerful creature.
Gephardt,
JP,
we're waiting for Flora.
Flora just left. We could be back before she is.
I'm sure she'll feel very left out of the adventure, then, wouldn't she?
She doesn't seem like the type to be really upset about that.
Well, I think we should just wait and make sure.
Let me tell you this. You know I have a dragon. Puff can fly all over the city in the blink of an eye.
I know that the dragon was more important to you than Malcolm.
Are you kidding?
Look, buddy, and he's looking at little Malcolm now, and he's gonna go, I realize that the idea of getting and running off on an adventure it sounds like a good idea right now, but just trust me, we just gotta hang tight. Flora is gonna help you, and it's gonna be much better. And you know, if we all really think it's gonna be a good idea to go do this after Flora gets back and after you're all better, well, we can talk about it as a group then. All right.
Okay, if you think that's what's okay.
I think that's really for the best.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I guess if that's for the best, then.
He puts the to-go mug down in front of JP.
I'll still let you have your tea because I am your friend. Even though you don't want to go and find Malcolm's parents because you'd rather sit here. Maybe Malcolm and I will just look at the map some more and see if we can figure out other places to go. What do you think, Malcolm?
Okay, that'd be fine. Where else do you think that a very smart adventurer would go and a curer would go?
I think the library. I think that if we went to the library, this might be over before lunchtime. But JP wants to sit here and wait. So, since JP is apparently calling the shots now, we'll just sit here and wait.
Gephardt, it's not about me calling the shots.
Yes, it is.
Trust goes both ways.
You're telling Malcolm, we know that you can't find your parents. Go ahead and wait a little bit longer while I sit here and do nothing. And we'll wait for Flora to whatever she's doing. And then whenever everybody gets back on my time, we'll go find your missing parents. His mother's sick. She needs a magic item. I mean, I'm not as selfish, but you're calling the shots. So, JP, I guess I'll just sit here and Malcolm and I will try to figure out what we can do when you finally release the cuffs.
Malcolm, I think we'll let you decide. I really think it's better if we wait for Flora. What do you think?
I don't know. Usually the grown-ups make all the choices, and I just do what they tell me to do, and that's okay.
I understand, and I know it seems like a good idea to just run off, but
JP, you can come with us.
I'm sure that when your dad was going on all his adventures to those places, he prepared and got ready first. That's what we need to do. We can't just go running off. I know it sounds nice to go and be done with an adventure by lunchtime, but we got to be ready.
Yeah, he read a lot of books, and he had to go on a boat and other stuff sometimes, and he had to bring a backpack, and I don't have a backpack. So
Exactly. Malcolm is 100% right. He needed all of these things. He had to go on a boat. He needed a backpack. You know why? No dragon. If he had a dragon, zip, zap, zoop, it's done. We have a dragon, but we also are saddled with a JP who will not let us do anything.
I don't know what that means.
So my question to you, Malcolm, is this. Your father has left to help your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Your father is not here. We must find him. And in so doing, help him help your mother and maybe find this wizard. But we will do whatever you would like to do. My dragon, Puff, outside is waiting and itching to fly. But JP is in here itching to sit. So, to sit or to fly? It's the age-old question.
He looks back and forth a few times between the two adults, and he settles on the pocket where he knows the green fairy is, and then he takes a step towards JP and says, "No, I think I'll have to wait with Mr. JP. I'm sorry."
I'm proud of you, Malcolm. That's a tough decision to make, but it's the right one.
I'm not upset either, Malcolm. We can continue to watch. It was always your choice. So we can look at the map here. JP can have his tea. Maybe we can call the library. I don't know. I'm going to put on the bangles.
I don't know what that is, but if you have to put it on, that's okay. Like I said, my dad put on a backpack. Oh, that's a bad word.
Fantastic.
It's dark outside. I don't know if the library is open. Anyway, we could call them and see if they're open.
Sure.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to cut to Flora. Flora, can you describe a little bit about the preparations that you're doing for attempting to revive Malcolm?
So Flora, as she's getting things together, you start to see her mood change a little bit as she starts to grab some of the ingredients from the garden and things from her bag, and just sort of moving and humming like you wouldn't expect, from her. And she's lighting candles on the way out that leads up to this giant flowery bed. And as she gets ready to kneel down, she just looks up at the sky. She takes a deep breath, and you see her hair the pink from the bottom up start to just creep a little bit as she kneels and puts her hands on Malcolm's head, with his head right like in front of her knees as she's kneeling down.
Okay. And so what is the act of attempting to revive him?
You mean what move is it?
Well, no. What is the embodiment of that experience? What is the narrative description of what you're trying to do before we talk about a move?
It's her cleaning his wounds, patching them as she would, any of the corpses in her morgue, kind of cleaning the wounds and tidying him up a little bit. If his shirt's bloody, she'll take it off, take one of her big t-shirts and put a clean t-shirt on him after she cleans his wounds.
So you would notice something weird when you start to do that, is that Malcolm has no wounds on his entire body. His shirt's not ripped anywhere. He has no signs that he was in a fight at all. Except for he does have a small cut on his arm. Other than that, he looks completely fine.
Yeah, it was probably like the blood probably dripped. So she did all these preparations. She lays down And she's like, I'm growing this for months, so I guess I'll just put them in the fridge or something. I don't know. She's just like grumbling to herself. Now she's just pissed, and you see the black start to fade back down a little bit. And as she's sitting there, she has her hands on his head and her eyes are closed, and she's concentrating, and she's really trying to see, because she can usually tell with people, is he on the edge of death? Is he getting better? How is his heart rate? She would check these normal things.
He's unconscious. And typically I would say that this is an investigation role, but the state is pretty obvious to somebody who has dealt with people, you know, in various states of you know, on that journey to death. He's not dead, but there is something very different about the body. The body is operating. There is what you would just identify as a presence or a soul there, but you're not sure that it's Malcolm. Okay. Like, there's something about the identity that feels different to the soul that's inhabiting him, but it's asleep. Like, you've seen the state of like the unconscious, and sometimes the soul is asleep.
Okay.
And you think that you need to awaken the soul. Like, you need to bring Malcolm back to consciousness that way. Maybe that will fix him, because this is an unusual situation. Right? This is something not completely this is not a completely alien, but it's not something you've ever seen before. Like, you've never seen this in the sense that the identity doesn't feel completely like the person that you would typically be helping or interacting with. So
okay. So once she puts a different t-shirt on him and she realizes that the blood from his arm is off and, he's okay, she's just going to make him comfortable and wait for Anatoly to get there. Because it would take a while, the preparations.
And so eventually there's a knock on the door.
She would lean back and you would see through all this lush, beautiful flowers and bushes and trees and everything that kind of like the willows like hang over. She would just yell to him, "Back here," so he can come around the gate.
You hear the gate open and close, and you hear the footsteps of 3 individuals. As you see the form of Anatoly just kind of step into the back garden, and 2 of his bodyguards kind of step to that point. But the moment that they step and can see the entire area of the garden, they stop and just begin to assess the situation and don't look directly at you or at Anatoly as he steps forward. And he looks down at Malcolm. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm a little confused.
Oh, he's not mine. I've been tasked with watching him. He was injured by... Maybe it wasn't his fault. Maybe he wasn't directly related, but Mr. G, as I've come to know him, was his caregiver. He allowed him to be hurt. I wasn't going to give you any information on him out of loyalty to him. But does this look like someone who is good to you? That they would let this happen to a child? And when he looks at her for the first time, he sees that her hair is still somewhat pink from what she was trying to... It's starting to die down, but he would not have seen that during their date.
He pretends to not notice, but you notice that you see that he takes that into, but he pretends not to acknowledge it. As he looks down and says, I see a boy and a man in the same space. Gephardt Caparelli did this?
Not directly. But the old Mr. G, as he called him, wouldn't have let this happen to him. Something has happened to him. He's different. He doesn't remember his family. He doesn't remember what happened to them. And I need you to fix him if you want to get answers out of him.
This is important to you.
It is.
Is it more important that the boy get better?
Yes. I got a text from my friend who is still there, someone I trust. The one I told you about. The only person that I trust now.
Okay.
This is Malcolm. He said Malcolm is there.
Wait. This is... The boy is in two places at once.
Yes. I don't know how. I don't have any answers. I don't even like kids. But I'd like to fix him, if I can.
If you want me to help him, I need to understand what has happened. As I explained to you before, ultimately I deal in information. I need to understand how he ended up like this. He is stable for now. And if it is, as you say he is in two places at once. That is the real danger. The body is alive. So I need you to be honest with me and tell me everything. Will you do that? And I promise you, if you do, that I will be able to help this boy because it matters to you.
And you won't hurt the others if you can help it? Do this, and I will trust you to a point.
Having all the information ultimately leads to judgment. But I will be lenient if that is what you wish. But to help this boy right now, I need you to tell me everything.
She puts her hand out towards him.
Is it gloved?
Yes, because she was holding Malcolm. No, it's not, because she was healing him.
And he reaches out and takes her hand.
When he does, she pulls him down to kneel in front of Malcolm. And she tells him everything that she was listening to through the door that Flicker was talking about.
Okay, so we're gonna, as that conversation, as that information is sort of coming out, we're gonna cut back to Gephardt and JP. JP, I have a question for you before the scene really kind of fully comes into play. Did you drink the tea?
I was really wondering whether I should, because it really seemed like he was really trying to pressure me to drink the tea. But I think that I do, because I don't care, and I'm a badass who can drink poison tea and be fine.
To which leads my question to Greg about Gephardt. Was
The
it just...
tea is delicious.
Sinister as fuck.
At some point, as he's like drinking the tea, he's and like everyone's kind of like sitting there or whatever. JP's gonna be like, "Excuse me a second." And he's gonna stand up with a groan, walk over to the freezer, and like grab like whatever is frozen, and then come back and collapse back in the chair and put it on his ribs because he still has broken ribs right now. And he's just gonna like groan as he ices himself down. He's like, "Oh, that's a bit better. I think I broke my ribs."
Oh, for Christ's sake. Here,
stand up, take your shirt off. He goes over and gets a first aid kit out of the top drawer that's way, way high, making it very difficult for somebody that would be like Malcolm's height to get to it. And he opens up one of the cabinets above the refrigerator and pulls it out. Kind of knocks some candy bars away as he does it. And he pulls it down and he pulls out like a big, just a roll of Ace bandage. You need to wrap them up. You know this. Come on.
Yeah, so JP like takes off his t-shirt and he just has like a just nasty black and purple bruise. I don't know if you've ever seen what it looks like when somebody has their ribs broken like that. It is ugly. He'll definitely let you wrap him up.
Oh man!
Thank you for the reminder.
What happened?
Okay. Malcolm, come over here. I want you to watch and see how you do this in case you or any of your friends ever get hurt. You can do this to help them.
No, that's gross.
It's just a bruise at this point, but underneath, right here with over your lungs and heart, there are those. It feels like a xylophone, like a washboard. Well, you're gonna wrap those. You gotta wrap them real tight because if they move around, it hurts like a bitch. So he begins to wrap it, seemingly not aware of the fact that he's cussed several times in front of this boy, which Gephardt never did.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, okay. I'll. Does that hurt, mister?
Yep.
It'll hurt till it's done.
Oh, this
In one more time.
doesn't look like it's helping. It looks like it's making it worse.
It
Tell him.
does, it actually does feel a lot better. Anyway, puts his shirt back on. It's like,
At this point, as the 80s on 8 constantly playing in the workshop of Gephardt, the only thing that usually changes for it is the volume. It's just at this moment that the Go-Go's and one of their iconic hits, Our Lips Are Sealed, comes on. And as Our Lips Are Sealed begins to play, Gephardt stops in mid-rap of JP's, the final circuit of JP's ribs, and he freezes and lets it drop, and it slacks a bit, kind of robbing that last rap of its usefulness. And he stares off, and the blue eye begins to flicker, no pun intended, back and forth, as for a moment, Gephardt whispers, "Belinda, Jane. So, did you have your tea?" And the blue eye flares again.
JP will like take the scissors and like cut off the wrap and finish it up himself. And he just goes, what did you say, Gephardt?
Would you like some tea? Did your tea, you want some more?
It was good, but before that, you said 2 names.
Malcolm, JP?
Melinda, Jane, Mel?
No, you need to sit down. Perhaps your ribs are hurt more than you think. Have some more tea. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good. JP text Flora again. Is like, hurry up. This is getting so creepy.
Malcolm has walked over to the XM radio and is playing with it. And he looks over and says, how do I change it?
Oh, we don't do that.
Oh, you can't pick a song?
They pick them for you. Back in the days when I was growing up, son.
Can we
didn't
call into the
just-
radio station?
How do you know about that? Calling into the radio station.
My dad lets me call into the radio station all the time. I call in and he gives me the phone off the hook, and then he tells me to tell him what your favorite song is.
We
what's your
need to
favorite?
find your dad.
What's your favorite song, Malcolm?
Are you gonna call it on the radio for me?
Well, that's not really how this one works, but I'm just kind of curious.
It's a song from a movie, and it's about kids, and they're bad kids, and they're in school, and they have to stay in school on a Saturday. You know the song? Don't you forget about me. Don't.
What?
Don't. What? Did I sing
Are
it
you
wrong? Is that
kidding?
not the right? Is that not the right song?
That's a great song.
Oh, I know it's like my favorite one. I listened to it on. I have it on tapes.
I have the tape somewhere.
Can you play?
JP, drink your. I have to go find my other stuff.
And he disappears off into one of the side rooms, and you just hear boxes being thrown as Gepard is attempting to recreate his cassette tape player and boombox setup that he put away for the Sirius XM radio.
I don't know why he would be so excited about that song.
He really likes music, and really honestly anything from the 80s, really.
Oh. Okay.
You know, like the how did you know that song?
What do you mean?
Yeah. What? When were you born, Malcolm?
I don't know. I'm 13, so
What year were you born?
what year is it now?
2018.
I'm in the future.
What year is it for you, Malcolm?
Well, that's my favorite song because my dad took me to see the movie
When did the movie come out?
this year.
JP looks up the day the Breakfast Club came out. I actually have no idea.
1985.
All right. Wait, JP's 25, so that makes Malcolm like 20 years older than JP.
It makes him 32. Relax, Sam. Actually, it would make him 20 years older than you. Yeah, if he's 13 in 1985. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
13 in 1985. He's born in 1972. He's older than me.
Yeah, that's 20 years older than JP. Yeah.
God, and that's saying something.
And Johnny's old, guys.
Oh,
Even
fuck you,
older
Bob.
than Greg. JP's gonna be like, oh, yeah, you are in the future, time traveler Malcolm.
And then he goes real quiet when he does the math. If he's in the future, where does that mean his parents are?
As soon as everything goes quiet from the side little cubby area, you hear "Simple Minds!" Ha ha! And a cassette tape is produced out of the portal of this little like drawn curtain area, and he comes out with a gray boombox that looks like something John Cusack would hold above his head to get somebody's attention. It is the sport of the future, kickboxing, and he will come over and set it down, and somehow he has produced a plug for it. As he plugs it in, and Simple Minds hit "Don't You Forget About Me" begins to play.
Hey, Gepard, can I ask you a somewhat personal question?
Shoot.
What year were you born?
Me? 1975.
Oh, so you're
43 as of a couple days ago.
2 years younger than Malcolm.
Sure, we'll go with that.
What's wrong, JP? You seem blue.
I'm just worried about Malcolm.
Well, you could probably alleviate some of those concerns if we began our search for his parents. Because the only way to help him is to uncover their whereabouts and the truth.
But if we're in the future and they didn't come to find me, where would they be?
Maybe they need help. That's my point. I have a dragon. It helps a lot to do anything. Kill an army? Dragon. Get a good price on gas? A dragon. It helps with a lot of stuff. Finding parents? Dragon.
JP is gonna like move a little closer to Gephardt and talk in a hushed tone, and he's gonna be like, Gephardt, if this is true, Malcolm's parents have to be in their mid-60s, maybe their 70s.
Hush your mouth. Well, don't come in here and be ageist. We will find these octogenarians and we will help them. You and your millennial ways.
I mean, I don't entirely know how to respond to that.
I'm joking. JP, I'm joking. Okay, obviously there's something going on here. I think that the only way for us to make sure that Malcolm becomes one Malcolm again is to find his parents. This is obviously, he received physical trauma, right? And boop, 2 Malcolms. This Malcolm wants to find his parents. Where is there the harm in looking? No, you're listening to somebody else's rules, JP. Flora told me to stay here. Flicker told me this. What does JP think? You're going to be with us?
I really think Flora said she's about to be here. I really think we should just wait for her.
That's fine. You get to tell the boy that we're going to wait a little bit longer. This
what do
boy
you
is
mean
older
we're waiting longer? The trail is 30 years cold.
Oh, hush your mouth. We will find it. Dragon. Just said that. We have 3 places: museum, library, university. There'll be one of those. Right, Malcolm?
If you say so.
You have to believe, son.
Yeah, but if
With
I've been gone for a long time and no one came to find me, maybe there's no one looking.
Or
Maybe they didn't want to
you-
find me.
Or maybe you and them were both taken together. What if you just woke up and they just woke up and they're looking for you? But we'll wait here until JP gets back up from Flora.
Okay.
Gephardt, if the trail is 33 years cold, a couple more hours is not going to matter. Don't.
At this point, Gephardt gets very close to JP and his eye flares up. Son, you fought a dragon today and pirates, and you're talking to me about a 30-year-old cold case? What doesn't mesh with any of that? Dragon and pirate fighting and scientific fact. We're going to find his parents and this wizard. I believe this wizard may have a strong hand to play in all of this. Perhaps we can draw them in. At this point, Johnny, where is my pirate buddy?
Where did you leave Pirate and Dragon Puff?
I'm assuming that the Puff was flying around, and the pirate would have been with Pinocchio. I would like to bring Pirate inside because I thought he would just be sitting in the corner, kind of quiet, but we haven't like narratively placed him yet. So can I narratively place him and just kind of be stoically in the corner? Okay.
Sure.
Look, we have a pirate. He's a good one. Isn't that right, John? Good pirate.
Look,
He's a good
dragons.
I have trouble arguing
See?
with you, Gephardt, on the fact that a lot of crazy shit has been going on. Shit that can't really be explained.
Right.
At least not by me, but I was never very good at school or science anyway. But
Then let me help you. Me, you, little Jackie over there. We can all get together.
John.
John, he's got that thing on his lip. It's a mustache. Brag it up a bit. John over there, he's a pirate. Let's go searching for this boy's parents and this wizard. And if we have a wizard and a dragon and a first-class pirate named John, well, then we have ourselves the makings of a pretty decent crew.
I think we just need one more member of our crew then. The medic.
His parents, correct. Flora's a member of the crew, but she's off doing her own Flora stuff. She always does it.
I thought we were done with this argument, Gepard. Why do we need to go right now? Why can't you just wait for Flora?
Fine. Tell the boy that you want to wait. Look at his face. That's why I'm asking you.
Malcolm, I'm gonna say it again. I know that there's a lot of temptation. I know that he's filling you with all sorts of ideas, but Flora can really help us, and it's better if we just wait a few minutes.
Okay, what if we do something in the middle? Would that be okay?
What do you mean?
Well, you want to wait for Flora, and you don't, and Flora's not here, and this is a house, so there's a phone. Why don't you call Flora on the phone, and then we go find Flora at her house? And then we're going somewhere, and we're waiting for Flora.
This boy is smart. When you grow up in the 80s, you can make these types of plans. Have you ever seen Goonies? Those kids got shit done.
Oh, he swears a lot.
Yeah. Seriously, Gepard, language.
What?
But yeah, that's fine. We can go meet Flora. I'm gonna call Flora.
Okay, so we're going to cut back to Flora as she's finishing the conversation she's finishing telling Anatoly all of this. And she still has his grip, or her grip on him, his hands, as she conveys all of this. Flora, the breadth of what you tell him, the context of everything, for the first time, you see real emotional responses from him as each bit of information plays across his face in one of a couple of ways. Surprise, fascination, anger, and sort of acknowledgement, acceptance. And that last one is the one that seems to play across his face the most often, as he just sort of, it's like he's putting pieces together. It's the first time that his facade, his cool nature begins to kind of descend. And as it descends a little bit, you see something a little bit more recognizable in him, because you see emotional response, and you don't see the physical form so much as you see something that reminds you of the past. But it's glances, it's brief moments, it's just a second. And when you're done, he kind of pulls gently away from you and gets up and turns away from you for just a minute. As you can see, he's holding his head, and he's clearly just processing everything. And he turns and he says, "The boy first, and then your friends. That is what you want me to do, yes?"
I thought we needed to combine them. He's not here.
We will. But I can do His condition is interesting. He is 2 instead of 1, and the 2 are distinct. If we don't bring them together by dawn, it could be catastrophic for the boy. But in order for, and he pauses for a second as he tries to be as simple and, to communicate this, he says, I need to make sure that the body is ready for the mind. And with that, faster than you can believe, he's next to Malcolm, hand on Malcolm's head. And again, there is this shimmering from Anatoly for just a second. And as this happens, it is a purple sort of shimmer around him. And again, for just a second, you see beyond the physical, and you see something else that reminds you, that gives you a longing, a memory, a moment of joy, and also pain. As he steps up, away from the body, and he says, in a few moments, the boy will waken. We will guide him. It'll be a little rough, but we will guide him to bring him back.
As soon as he says that, she pulls out her phone and texts JP, "Come here now if you have to drag him here," and puts her phone back down.
I think as you're texting him, you get the call, like your phone buzzes. Ring.
You know how to pick your moments.
Flora, where are you? We're heading to you.
I'm home.
I don't think I've ever been to your house.
Most people haven't. And then she starts, like, while he's talking, she texts him the address. I'm in the backyard, and I'm not alone. I'm not sure how he'll take it.
Who's there?
Are you saying all of this out loud, you idiot?
Well, I'm talking on the phone, so yeah.
JP, I'm here with Malcolm and someone else. Don't say anything else if you're in front of Mr. G. Just listen. Someone is going to help us. It'll be fine, I hope. And she looks over at Anatoly. He can fix him. Just get here. And she hangs up and she texts Flicker her address.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I got the address. Flora was not super talkative, but that's not that unusual, really. Should we? Are you ready? Should we go? I'm not sure we should take the dragon. It might be a little high radar.
I'm not super concerned about high radar. I'm super concerned about results. Malcolm, ride with me. You get to ride a dragon as we ride forth to meet someone else before we can do what we need to do. JP, you can hippity hop yourself. My son could carry you. It's whatever you like. I don't know how hurt you are.
I'll
Are you
just.
taking John the pirate?
Oh, John. Shit, forgot about you, buddy. How about you? Yeah, you're going to have to hop yourself. You're going to have to hop yourself on over there, JP. Malcolm, to the dragon.
Malcolm, I think maybe just come with me.
Is it?
What? Malcolm, have you ever seen the Never-Ending Story?
Do you have a real dragon?
I have a real dragon.
How?
How? Let me show you. He unzips the wall. Ha ha, see that?
And then he walks outside and he calls for Puff.
Also, how did you see the Goonies?
It's a classic.
It doesn't come out till next month.
We're all very special here.
Is that a real
You
dragon?
too can see the Goonies.
Yes, see him circling? Here he comes. Come on down, Puff.
Why does he look all
John,
Why does he look all gross?
He's been through the mill. But a dragon's a dragon.
actually, he healed at the end of the last episode, so he looks resplendent.
That's true. But
Mm-hmm.
why don't we all just ride on it?
It can only take me and somebody of your size. JP has been hitting the tea a little too hard, I think, so he's going to have to burn off some calories by skipping some blocks. And John doesn't like dragons, so he rides with my son. He likes things made out of wood.
I'll
Like
just
boat.
I'll ride
Sailors.
with you guys. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's
No,
just-
you don't understand. Puff can't carry more than one person. Me and the boy, you can't just jump and keep up. Are you that hurt? You made it here?
I'm asleep. This is a dream.
You want to?
This is
Yes.
This isn't real.
Then you know what, Malcolm? If you have a choice in a dream, and the dream says you can just walk around and go to school and do walk through your classroom or whatever, or you can ride a dragon. What would you choose? Dragon every time.
You're right. I would be a
Right.
dragon every time.
He
Yeah.
hops up on Puff's back.
Hey, Puff, look at this one. You see him? I think we've got another Jackie Paper. Come on, Malcolm.
The dragon looks back,
and can't see it.
smiles, and
Hey.
smiles.
Right?
JP will just try to hang on to the dragon's talon because he knows that Gepart's lying just so that he can get rid of JP.
No, it was established that Puff cannot carry this much weight in the last episode.
I'm not lying. Insight check me.
It's not 5th edition.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, no.
I'll roll an investigate to see exactly how much weight Puff can carry. Like measures the dragon.
You could do a flashback and gain a clue automatically from the book that you read, where you read specifically about Puff.
Yeah, I will do that. I want to do a flashback to JP researching Puff the Magic Dragon in a book about dragons.
I mean,
Okay.
hello. Wait a minute. We've got Meta on the phone. Meta? Oh, okay. Yeah. Use that from the book.
She's in chat. You can just ask her.
I
So,
meant Meta principal, not Meta Mancer. But
So, JP, describe quickly that flashback sequence.
Well, we did, because I had to read the book out loud to Malcolm when Gepard, picked the dragon. So
That's
I
correct.
Did, flash back to a scene of, Malcolm, sitting on the floor, and JP's, in a chair with the big book open. And, Gepard's probably, in the back, making some wooden toy or something. And JP's just, reading to him. He's like, oh, and this part here, it says in this part of the story, Puff carried all the Jackie and all his friends, and they flew together. And then they fought some pirates, I guess. That's probably the part you want me to read, right, Malcolm?
Yeah, can we go fight dragons? Pirates? Whatever? Can we go fight them?
Well, let me just finish the story first.
Fine.
And then JP just keeps reading.
Okay, and you get your clue. What do you want to do with your clue, JP?
I would like to know
The relative weight of 10 children compared to me.
the average airspeed velocity of a dragon.
Of a laden green dragon.
Of a laden green dragon.
Are you asking about the airspeed, or are you asking about its capability for the weight?
I'm asking about the capability for the weight.
Gepard's lying to you.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I mean, JP's just going to do what he was intending to do the whole time. And when the dragon takes off, he's just going to hop up, grab a talon, and hang on.
This is one of those situations where I want there to be some sort of a roll, just because I want Gepard to be able to react to this in some way. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a take a risk for JP.
Fine. I start with a -3 for my bruised ribs.
You're right. So that is a rule change, and I'm going to mention it on screen real quickly. We're playing more rules as written, and status effects affect a roll by tier. So with a tier 3 status effect on you physically, affecting a physical situation, you start with a -3. So build your pool, buddy. Do it.
All right, guys. I've got high flying leaps. I've got supernatural strength to hold on. I've got acrobatics. And trickery and pranks. I'm being tricksy. This is definitely tricky move.
We'll deal with Trixie later. She'll get what's coming to her.
That's probably the only one that really helps at all.
Okay.
But that gives me +1, so we'll see how this goes. Not great.
Get fucked!
It does not go great, guys.
So, given the circumstances, I think that Gepard gets to use this move in some way to anticipate or take advantage of the fact that JP misses. How does Gepard do that?
He doesn't do anything because Gepard is a nice guy. He's friends with JP. However, what Puff will do is Puff is going to mule kick him back down into the earth, hopefully hitting his ribs when he. But that's Puff. He's a cranky bastard. We can't do much about it.
That's fair.
I believe it says you fail to perform the feat, and the MC can use a hard move against you. Well, there ain't nothing
hard move
harder
against
than
him.
my wood, baby. Bam! Take it.
It's never
So
fun
JP
the first time you take Gepard's wood.
It's true.
So JP, you're going to take a status effects again, shattered ribs. So that's going to increase your tier, your physical tier effect to a status 4 of internal bleeding.
Oh boy. Yeah, so JP like jumps up in the air, goes to grab the talon, gets kicked and just like goes shooting down to the ground, hits the ground with just a crunch, and just like dust like poofs around him, and we just hear him go, "Oh god. Oh my god."
Dick move, Puff. Dick move.
Oh god.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now we're off.
I really don't think I will be fine.
Oh, we're way ahead.
I'm dying.
So I have one question for little Malcolm. The farther away you get from the ferry, what happens?
He disappears.
Well, son of a bitch.
Yep.
He
You
wheels
just
back
look around.
around.
You look around and you see that you are alone riding on the dragon, shouting things that a 10-year-old would enjoy. But quickly you just realize that it's yourself.
He wheels back around towards the workshop. Does Malcolm reappear when he gets within a certain radius?
He doesn't, because Malcolm reappears next to JP on the ground. So if you circle back, and you would see your one eye would see Malcolm standing next to JP, kind of squatting down, poking at him. Are you okay?
I'm not okay. Really super not okay.
Do you need more band-aids?
I don't think it. I'm like, at this point, JP like opens up his jacket a little bit, and he's like, looks at the ferry and is like, if you do any stuff, now would be a really good time for that.
She's still passed out.
Okay, that's great.
Gepard kind of throws one leg over Puff's neck and slides down, and he kind of strokes Puff's neck as he drops down, and he says, "Get ready, we may have to burn somebody." Hey, JP. What you got in your pocket there? Is that little zippity-doo-dah thing?
JP's like getting up very slowly. He coughs again and like into his hand and notices that there's some blood there, which is not a great sign. And he's like, Gepard, can I just have a minute? I'm really super hurt right now.
That's a shame. You need to go to the hospital and get some medicine. Until then, though, you better let me have what's in your pocket. Can't go to the hospital with that.
I think it's really a much better idea if we just go to Flora. Oh, God.
I agree. Give me what's in your pocket, JP. I tire of this.
Are you serious right now?
Pinocchio moves up behind JP. Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no.
JP, I was bullshitting you before. Puff can carry you, but you have to ask. This jumping up shit gets you in trouble. So why don't you hop on the back?
Asked.
You did not totally ask. You implied. I did not infer. And then you tried, and you got kicked.
I'm like
that's
98% sure I asked.
Well, they're in that 2%. That's where we live, I think. So come on. He kind of starts guiding JP towards Puff's neck. Let's sit down on Puff here. Puff's a good boy. It's a magic dragon. Arnold.
JP is gonna do so. He's like holding his jacket like pretty tight against him. He like sits down, but he's like, he really wants to not have to fight Gepard right now. His entire body's messed up.
Okay, sit down there. You're fine. I'll get here. Let me get behind you. And then Malcolm, come on. And son, Pinocchio, follow us bring John. Bring John so he can just be sulky in the corner or whatever. But he needs to see this. I don't want to leave him out.
Oh, okay. Okay. And he starts to climb up the tail.
I'll be honest, Gepard, you really had me fooled for a second there. I really thought you were about to try to kill me.
No, of course not. I'm not going to kill you. You're one of my very good friends. You're my number one guy.
That's good to hear, because I'm really hurt right now.
That's good.
Badly hurt in my life, I don't think.
That's good to know. But let's go over, and I think a good fly on a dragon will make you feel at least a little bit better, wind in your face and whatnot. Puff, to the library.
Wait, I thought we were going to Flora.
Well, think again. We are on an adventure!
And we're going to cut to Flora.
Flora calls or texts JP, where the fuck are you?
JP's phone was pulverized when he was kicked, like, from a dragon down into the concrete. I know, like, if somebody's phone's disconnected, it would go directly to voicemail. I guess texting you wouldn't really notice, though, would you?
But when you text where the fuck, you hear "oh" in your head.
Also, it would possibly go undelivered depending upon the service. So
I'm gonna call Flicker and then realize that the phone is in Malcolm's pocket. Fuck! As soon as it starts ringing next to her.
As the phone starts to ring, the body starts to stir.
She hangs up.
Yeah, cell service for Metro PCS is pretty unreliable anyway.
Anatoly walks up. Where are your friends? The body waking up without the mind. This is a problem.
She calls him, JP.
Yeah, it goes straight to voicemail because his phone's pulverized.
There's something wrong.
More movement begins to stir in the body as it looks like the limbs are beginning to, hands are gripping, and you can see that it's shifting as if Malcolm's waking up.
She's going to email Flicker, because that's how she got in touch with her last time, and just say, find out where they went now, in all caps. And then she stands up and turns to Anatoly. His phone went to voicemail. He must have taken him. He must have. He was on his way here.
Who has taken whom?
I don't know. There's something wrong. He's obviously not on his way here. Someone either took him or he's in trouble.
Do you know where they would go? Are there any ideas? Where were they last seen?
Gephardt place.
Before then? Where were they before that?
Apparently fighting pirates. Is there any way to see cameras in the city? Find out where is Flicker?
And at that you get a text. They're not on the city streets. I can't find them on the cameras.
Well, you could scratch the cameras off your list.
Let me make a phone call, Anatoly says, and he steps away and begins to make a call in hushed tones. The body continues to stir as if full motor function begins to return.
She just waits with him. Can I sedate him?
I don't know. Can you?
I mean, she would have it in her kit.
If you want to sedate him, you can sure as hell try. But
sedate him for like another half hour.
Do you regularly sedate the corpses that you work with?
Do you regularly sedate the dates that you?
Yeah, what the hell roofies are you having on you?
They're not roofies.
Why do you have sedatives?
They're sedatives, like tranquilizers.
Yeah,
Listen, I don't roofie people.
As a coroner, why do you have sedatives?
I have a medical bag.
But
one of my
She just likes them, okay?
Yeah, but why sedatives? They're already dead. You can't sedate the corpses.
When you carry a medical bag, you carry a bunch of things, okay? It's a hobby, all right?
Someone check that medical license. I don't
Also,
think
not all dead people stay dead.
Sedating doesn't work. You need a vascular system to be
You know that?
sedated.
Have you ever sedated a dead person? No.
Okay.
So that Anatoly gets off the phone, turns and says, "A dragon. Didn't you say something about a dragon?"
Fuck.
They're spotted in the air. They're on their way towards the water.
She picks Malcolm up and turns to him. Let's get him in the car. Let's go. We have to follow them. And
he looks to you and says, "I'll take him."
She goes to hand him over and she says, "I can carry him, but there's an important item for him. Grab it, please. I'll bring him to the car."
And he reaches down to it. And as he's following you out, his two men begin to join. And as you step out onto the street, you see that there are two other cars and two other groups of individuals dressed the same, looking the same, standing outside, just keeping an eye on the street.
Okay.
And as you step up, he says, "I can call in a favor. I can have them pursued. But there is no guarantee that they won't be a little roughed up."
Then I don't want that. Just track them.
They're a dragon in the sky. They can be clearly seen. But
Clearly
I can
not by
prevent them.
me.
And he points. And if you look off in the distance, you can see a little green blob. Looks like a blimp, sort of slightly kind of floating across the sky.
You see her lean gently, like gingerly, into the back seat and slide him in and make his head comfortable. And then she goes, "We'll talk later about you always correcting me. And yes, it's a fucking dragon." And she gets in the front seat and slams the door.
So I just have a question for you. Did you actually sedate Malcolm?
No,
Okay.
I was criticized for trying to, so I didn't.
That
The
did
eyes
happen. That's a fair point.
While I was playing and he wasn't in the area.
I was
eyes
just
open.
Curious.
Sure.
As as Anatoly gets in on the other side of the vehicle. Malcolm stirs in the back.
She kind of like peeks over the side of the seat, turned around. She's kind of looking at him.
Yeah, he's just like a sleepy boy waking up from a nap, and he's still trying to get a hold of his surroundings.
Is he wiping the sleep from his eyes?
Yeah.
Pretending like he wasn't really asleep.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Is Anatoly in the back with him? Like we're being
No,
chauffeured?
No, Anatoly gets into the front of the vehicle as the two individuals separate to the two vehicles. You see that there's a difference between the two cars that are being driven as, escorts with his car. His is a nice, big, beautiful black Cadillac convertible. Their cars are sedans of a different make and model, also black. All the windows are blacked out on all of the vehicles, including the front. So there's a bit of privacy as he begins to pull out of the parking space as the three cars move in the direction towards the dragon.
She's going to try to be ladylike and pull her dress down just so she's not causing a ruckus, and then leans in the back seat and is just grabbing from the seat that he put it down, the chocolate bar, and she starts unwrapping it and just kind of waving it in front of his sleepy face. "You want a snack, Malcolm?"
Malcolm looks up at you, and in the passing streetlights, you notice that Malcolm's hair is shock red, and he like swats the candy bar out of your hand, and he says, "No, I don't want a candy bar. Where are we going? Who are you?"
"We're reuniting you with your family."
"I don't have a family."
"You've been unconscious for some time, Malcolm."
"That's not true."
"Then how do you explain being here?"
"I don't know. Did you kidnap me?"
"No."
Don't shake your head, Sam. "Who are you? Where am I?"
"You don't remember me at all."
"No." "You a mermaid?"
"You must have hit your head." "No." And she lifts up one of her legs to show him she's not a mermaid.
"Who's that guy?"
"Don't worry about him. He's just driving us somewhere. He's a friend."
"Whose friend?"
"Our friend."
Her friend.
"Not my friend."
Her friend. And you are my charge boy.
"I'm your what?"
I am responsible for your life at her request. And he looks over to Flora. He will be very confused. Try not to make it worse.
"Listen, we're taking you somewhere to help you get some of your memories back. Okay? You can leave as soon as we get to where we're going and you see what's happening. So just keep yourself comfortable, okay?" And she
Listen,
kind of tries to tuck him in, remembers that he swatted her away, and then turns around in the seat.
you see him reach for his belt. He says, "Listen. Let's make one thing clear. I'll leave whenever I want."
"You're the boss?"
Where are my actual friends? Did you kidnap them too?
That hurts.
Not as much as a sword, pirate.
She's going to text Mr. G.
Malcolm scooches closer to the door.
We're going very fast.
Malcolm can fly.
What does she text Mr. G?
Kidnapping is a felony.
All right, we're going to cut to Mr. G. Riding on the back of a Puff the Magic Dragon.
So as like they're like flying and he's like shouting about going to the library, JP like slowly and incredibly painfully sits up and he's like, seriously, what the hell, Gephardt? This wasn't the plan at all.
It was always the plan. It's right along the way. It's like a railroad system. It's just we're on rails. It's like an old 90s shooter. We go here, we go there. There's no sandbox.
You said the whole point of the dragon is we could go right there. I really feel like you're going back on the deal here, man.
I am not going back on the deal. How dare you? You're the one that got kicked by Puff, and now you're upset about it. Puff apologized, didn't you, Puff?
Look, most of my ribs are, well, dust right now. So I really don't want to have to bring this dragon down. Don't make me land the dragon, Gephardt.
What are you talking about? You're talking about violence to Puff here? Let me feel your ribs. Listen, I'll tighten this. He's behind JP and he begins to test the ribs.
No.
Let me just, let this happen. Shh. As he, as he's doing that, he wants to pull the body of Tink out of his pocket.
Is this a sneak or is this take a risk? Sneak around or take a risk?
We're going to go with, I guess, a sneak, probably, because that's probably what he's doing. Because he's not really taking a risk since he's on his own dragon. Right.
You are taking a, well, okay, sure, why not? Take sneak.
If anything, that would be more of a risk. Like,
okay. Well,
It's
I'll leave it.
entirely-
I'll leave it on the table. I'm not.
No, it's entirely up to you. It's what you want to do. And stop having Puff stare at me. It's kind of disconcerting. He's staring at me.
Listen, Puff's obviously in the later stages of liver failure with these eyes, but
And those freaking those eyebrows.
Right.
So okay, so you're rolling a sneak around. What do you got in what do you got on this power tag wise?
Lies yet untold, blackmail falsehoods, because this is tricky if we're going with sneaky. And I think that's really all I have, but let me see if I have got anything that could go. I don't think I have anything that could go against that right now. Oh, I have just the thing could work as well, because he could be able to reach in and actually, it just so happens he's got a little marionette doll that's basically the same size, shape, and density of Tink that he could just pull out of his pocket, do the old switcheroo, and put into JP's pocket, so he is none the wiser.
Okay. Does the weakness tag doesn't work on children? Oh no, actually, because no, that doesn't apply. Now that I think about it, yeah. Okay, roll it.
Okay, so I've got 3, correct?
Roll it.
3.
I really hope you failed this. Nope.
Oh, it doesn't look like it.
So, narrate this for us.
Okay, so as Gephardt is doing exactly what he said, oh, let me get your ribs here. Oh my God, there's one of them. I think that's coming out of the skin. Let's
No, please don't touch me, please.
And
Oh,
then he massages that area. Oh my God, it's really bad.
No.
And then as soon as he massages it, he pulls Tink out and then reaches over with the other hand and puts the little marionette in, takes Tink and puts Tink in his pocket, and he says, oh, there, I mean, my lord, you are in a bad way.
Yep.
Good, sir.
You must be a doctor. Oh God. Can we please go to Florida now? I don't want it.
I don't want to.
Malcolm, tell him he promised.
Malcolm, it's now time to find your family.
He
And
definitely-
JP is coming with us. JP is our very good close friend, JP. And he's coming with us, but he is busted up. So we need to be able, he's getting a little delirious, a little loopy in the head. We'll get him some tea and we'll...
Now you just tried to gaslight me. You definitely said we would go to Florida. Tell him, Malcolm.
So Malcolm stops responding and he looks vacant.
Now
And
see what you've done, JP.
Malcolm, are you okay?
nope, he continues to look vacant, sitting on the back of the dragon. And if we snap back to Flora and Anatoly, you see Malcolm get more and more agitated, whichever direction you're going, as he slides closer and closer to the door.
Which is a good segue back to Flora and Anatoly.
Flora looks in her rear view and sees him. How far are we?
We are a couple minutes away from being under them, but they haven't chosen to come down yet.
Oh boy, I hope he forgives me for this. She reaches into her bag, turns around, and puts a rag to his mouth.
I think this is take a risk for Flora.
You just have chloroform?
She's just that girl, right?
It's like if any of you seen BoJack Horseman, once you have the chloroform, it's just really fun to use.
All right, so I'm going to use Dead of Night,
Okay.
my job,
Okay.
access anywhere, because that's how she got it. She's not supposed to have this.
Okay.
After the guys in the gray suits were giving her a hard time, she started collecting things that might actually work on them better.
Oh, that explains what's in the bag. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, just those.
Okay.
I want to see if I have any weakness tags.
Yeah, I'm looking at your weakness tags. I don't think any of them really apply.
One of them's blank, but it was loss of innocence. But I don't think that applies here because she's protecting innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to roll. Take a risk, you said?
Yep.
Damn it.
Wow, that
Thought I had a crit from last game. Apparently not. Turns out.
That's good. This is good.
It's good.
The team trying to hold everything together is rolling really well right now, guys.
So you look back at Malcolm and then look back and grab the rag out of your bag and begin to like push it towards him. And as your hand comes around the back of the seat, Malcolm kicks you full in the hand. And in the second that you like pull your hand back, he lunges forward for whatever that thing was that we all know Anatoly grabbed, yanks it from the side of his seat, and I assume this is a really dope car, and smashes the sunroof with it.
it's actually a convertible.
Oh, even
And-
better. So,
Flail like an idiot in the back seat.
yep, and it cuts the convertible because it's the
And it's a
summer,
rack top.
and who wouldn't
Yep.
have a soft top on? The great thing about being an avatar is you burn your tag every time you do anything, so it's an auto success unless I have status effects. So the top rips off, and Malcolm flies out of the top of the car.
When you kicked her, it actually broke her fingers backwards.
Gross.
So she has gross, gnarled hands, and she's just cracking them back into place. And she looks fucking pissed.
I'm glad I flew away. You're still gross.
She goes, I don't suppose you have a helicopter.
Inspector Gadget.
No. But I will call in that favor now. And he gets on the phone and says 2 words. The boy. Malcolm, you're in the air.
For the record, Miss Ninja, Kit, Pepperwig, and chat has your back. This is all girls carry chloroform. It keeps us safe. So
Listen, you guys are creepy, and we carry pepper spray and chloroform.
yeah, sedatives.
If they were in the military, they're used to pepper spray, but they're not used to chloroform.
It's true. No one gets used to pepper spray. That sucks no matter how many times you get hit with it. That shit blows. So yeah, Malcolm is in the sky and he is barreling towards a dragon.
You hear a roar behind you.
A roar behind me. Fuck that. He's got a dragon to kill. Yeah, he continues going.
It gets louder and closer.
He continues going, but he does that cool thing where you just kind of turn around and he looks behind him while he's still going the other way.
There is a gigantic Chinese dragon following you.
Man, how mad are you, Sam?
Not that mad.
Can I see the other dragon? Actually, no, I don't need to see the dragon. I can kind of sense what's happening there. Yeah,
You can definitely, because you were taking off towards Puff.
Yeah.
You can definitely see Puff. I mean, he's within.
Yeah, he rolls back over and continues flying face first towards Puff.
Can I see Puff? Or can I see Malcolm coming towards Puff?
You can't see Malcolm's coming towards you yet, but you did hear the roar, and when you look back, you saw this gigantic, really long fucking Chinese dragon flying through the air.
Oh, great. Okay, JP, time to prove your mettle. See that
Pushes
thing? Go get him. And as he turns, as he sees Malcolm rocketing towards him, he can't manipulate the ghost spectral younger Malcolm. So what he will do is he will produce Tinkerbell. I found Tink! Or I found this fairy! I don't really know her name.
When I see the fairy, I'm like, oh, you bastard. Oh, you're a real asshole, Gephardt.
I sure am, pirate!
Oh, God. This is going to go so poorly.
That's a
And
good...
he starts flailing on JP. Let me go, scallywag! Me and this fairy need to escape!
JP's still there with trying to hold his ribs together with one hand and fend off Gephardt with the other. He's like, nope, definitely not a pirate. Also, not a ninja either.
He sounds like a pirate!
Nope, please no. Oh God.
Ah! He's hitting me! He's a pirate!
Malcolm rockets into Gephardt, and if JP falls off, so be it. Because all adults are pirates.
So is this a hit him with all you got?
Yeah.
Laura opens the sunroof, or she puts the top down with the little button to be able to watch sitting back in your seat.
The convertible, it's like...
She opens her bag and there's popcorn.
Where it's ripped, it's having trouble closing. It's just half open. Yeah, so I guess when you're an avatar, as long as you use a move, you burn your tag, so it's always a 10+. So
Is that what you say about avatars?
that is what you say about avatars. That's what the book says. That's what the book says.
Well, you're not one yet, Gephardt.
Yes,
John.
is the operative word.
Johnny?
So what happens, Gephardt, when you get hit?
There is a flash of blue. Blue wings, the color of jeweled sapphire, splinter out of Gephardt's back as he turns and seems a little more, I don't know, divine.
So do you get taken off of Puff?
Definitely.
We're going to have something to roll for that, aren't we?
Yeah, I assume that
No,
now...
you're-
Oh, good.
You're going to definitely get knocked off, but that's the result of what happens when you get knocked off.
Do
Is the
I?
first state emerges.
Do I stay on Puff?
That's entirely up to you at this point, I think.
Or Puff.
Or Puff. And Puff just keeps going as he sees the dragon. He starts flapping even faster.
Away or towards the dragon?
Away from the dragon.
Okay, so Malcolm
Is
and
he
Gepard
flying upside down?
No, we're not recreating that shit.
I think JP we see JP start to slide off of where they put him to sit against the dragon, and he's like, oh god, hey, Puff, can you turn around? Need you to turn around, buddy. I'm falling here. Does the dragon listen to me?
No, it just keeps barreling forward.
I think if it keeps barreling forward, JP is going to slightly push himself off, because falling through the air is bad, but he doesn't want to lose sight of his friends.
So do you want to try to convince Puff at this point?
Yeah. JP's going to be like, come on, man. You really, there's no way you really like working for Gepard. That dude, he's being a real asshole right now. I think we can both be honest. And
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And I mean, I know we were the people who were there when he caused you to get shot, but I was really trying to be nice, and I'm sorry about that.
Roll it. What power tax?
I'm guessing that my internal bleeding doesn't really hurt me negatively.
This is not a physical thing. This is an emotional thing or a mental thing. So it's absolutely not a negative.
All right. I would like to use Earnest and Simple and Will of Iron. Just a nice, friendly guy.
However,
talking to
because there is the previous control and manipulation that Gepard has on the dragon, there is a story tag that affects and gives you a -1. So a negative effect of 1.
All right. I'll roll it up.
Wait.
Oh, actually, you know what? I have 2 crits left over from last session. I would like to crit.
What is the final? Yes, very good. What is the final thing that you say to Puff to convince him?
Your initials are JP.
Oh yeah, you know what it is? Is he's like, come on, man, don't you remember before all the shooting and stuff happened? Gepard, he said you were buddies, and as much of a lying asshole as it turns out that he is, I still really think we could be good friends after all this.
And with that, the flapping all of a sudden changes as the speed at which is moving forward. It kind of flaps back, right, and just kind of pulls up, and you hear a roar, and the dragon just kind of turns and does this dive and heads back in the direction. And where is it heading, JP?
Back towards Malcolm and Gepard.
Okay, and we're going to cut to Flora as Anatoly is still driving and kind of looking up. What can we do in this situation that does not hurt them even more? And he looks over at you as he's continuing to speed down the street.
Can I see JP riding this dragon?
You can see something on the back of Puff because you're getting close enough, and you see the other dragon just sort of beginning to kind of come into visual range as all 4 of these essential entities are in the same aerial space. And yes, you can see something on the back that looks vaguely like JP. You can see that whatever the clothes this thing is wearing on the back has the same color of clothes that JP was wearing.
Where's Mr. G in all this?
Mr. G appears to be in the air, and there's something shimmering blue on his back.
She's going to dig through her bag, and you see her throwing out scalpels, Anatolia's probably trying to like lean and dodge like her kit, just going through all these things she has. And she pulls out a little wooden item. Oh boy, I hope you're on my side this time. And she whispers into the little bird that Mr. G gave her and sends it to JP.
What did you whisper?
Get the fuck down here and bring Malcolm. He wants the dragon. Bring it here. And you hear it kind of in her voice.
So we're going to cut to Malcolm, or Avatar Malcolm, and Avatar Gephardt.
Yeah, so basically Malcolm spears you off of the dragon, and that's kind of when your wings come out, and he half expects you to fall. So when he comes to a breakneck stop and you're just floating face to face with each other, he reaches for the sword and he points it at you. Do you still look like Mr. G, just with adorable wings?
Yep.
Adorable wings.
Yeah.
But there's the whole left side of his face is completely, it just angled out and spiked in like a North Star of blue.
Ooh. He points the sword at you, at your chest, and he looks down to your hand and says, "Give me the fairy."
This fairy?
Yes.
We're on the same side, Malcolm.
We can be on whatever side you want, as long as you give me Tink.
She's asleep. I'm holding her.
She can be asleep in my pocket.
Here you go.
He throws her to him.
And he zooms over and catches her and places her in his pocket.
You're welcome. You didn't have to spear me off the dragon.
You're
You left
lucky
the
to be
pirate
alive.
on the dragon.
You're all pirates as far as I'm concerned. Why did you have Tink?
Do I look like a pirate?
Yes, with wings. The worst kind of pirate.
Very well. But I'm the pirate that gave you Tink.
Not the first. Why did you have her?
That one had her. I pulled him out of his pocket.
Why did either of you have her?
I don't know why he had her, but I've struggled to get her back. You knocked me off my dragon.
Why?
I think we're on the same side.
What side is that?
Ours.
What side is that? What are you trying to do, pirate?
What would a pirate try to do?
Attack me.
Steal treasure.
Steal my
drink rum.
fairy.
I didn't steal her. I gave her back.
Suspect.
That's the opposite of a pirate. But let's go with your theory that I'm a pirate. I gave her back. Meanwhile, he's flapping in the middle of the... I'm obviously not a pirate. Have you ever seen a pirate with wings before? No. Do you ever see a pirate with a dragon before? No. But now a pirate does have a dragon, and you let him have him. Now I don't have my dragon anymore. You owe me a dragon.
At that, a dragon roars behind you, Malcolm.
Not that one.
Malcolm points to that one. Take it, it's yours.
Why is that dragon chasing you?
It's a new development.
That's a very adult thing to say.
He's 40 now. Yeah, he looks to you and he says, I don't know, but either I have to kill you or that dragon or both.
How close is JP with Puff now, coming in the other way?
You're coming in very close now. In
Now
pain.
look, there's two dragons against us. Do you want me to help you fight these things or not?
I don't think we really need to fight. I really
You're
think we
too
can
far
talk
away to
things
hear
out.
this.
I can handle two dragons.
Okay. You want me to take care of Tink?
No.
Okay.
Although,
Do you want me to just stand here and watch you?
that's fine. An audience is always nice. You can cheer. That'd
Oh.
be cool.
He turns around.
I'm not even going to look.
Malcolm, I would really appreciate it if you didn't try to kill the dragon. We're definitely friends. I promise. No, God.
That guy's voice doesn't carry 5 feet. There's absolutely no way we can hear him through the air 150 fucking yards away from him.
That's an airspeed velocity of a dragon. Yeah.
You guys just can't hear me. He can hear you guys, but he can't make himself heard because if he tries to shout, his ribs will give out.
Yeah, that's true.
JP, the bird arrives.
Oh.
It says, bring the dragon here.
No, bring Malcolm here.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Oh, well, why don't I just go down to the store and, pick you up some groceries while I'm at it, too? Do you have any other errands you'd like me to do?
Are we under them at this point?
Oh, yeah.
So Flora gets out of the car, grabs the nearest stick, and shouts as loud as she can at Malcolm. Yar! Come down here and face me. Anatolia just shrugs.
See? Pirate.
So I think only Gephardt would see a wicked sneer across Malcolm's face, and he lowers the sword and looks down and drops it to fall through the engine block of your car.
It's not my car. She
Roll
looks
it.
at Anatoly.
Actually,
it's a
Avatar
10 plus.
Avatar save it hits. So when it falls, describe to us exactly what happens when it falls into the car's engine.
Like in Arthurian legend, it just sword in the stone through the engine block. And I mean, it's not like a Terminator movie where the whole car flips over, but the car comes to I assume, a rather screeching halt. Is Anatoly
It
driving?
was already stopped. I got out and grabbed a stick.
Oh, it was stopped. Okay, that's less impactful. But it's now super not going anywhere.
It goes and it seizes.
And then Malcolm swoops down and pulls the sword out of the chassis of this car. and
Before he
looks
swoops down, Gephardt reaches into his pocket, pulls out another block of wood, makes an identical sword,
Oh, and the 2
and
seconds.
says, and I'm an avatar, I can do whatever I want, and throws it to him and says, your sword.
Hold on
Yet
a
I'm-
second. So that is happening as he's doing all of this. But I have a question for Malcolm now. When he gave you Tink, what happened to little Malcolm?
Ooh. That's a good question.
I was wondering the same.
Because before you said he was like catatonic, essentially.
Yeah. He would, I guess Malcolm, so JP would notice that he's not on the back of the dragon anymore. But little Malcolm can't fly since he is a construct of imagination. And he's just disappeared. He's still tied. So I think, I'll put that in chat. He's disappeared off the back of the dragon, but he is still somewhere.
Okay.
Laura, as he's diving, looks to Anatoly. I'm sorry about your car. I'll help get it repaired.
It's nothing.
It was a nice car.
Take care of your friends.
While he's flying at her, it was a nice car. I'm sorry.
Let us take care of your friends.
Don't hurt him if you can. I'll try not to. And you see her eyes go black a little bit as she tries to pull the sword out of the engine.
At which point, Malcolm comes down and pulls the sword out as Gephardt is throwing him another sword. Gephardt, what are you doing here?
Leaving.
Where is Gephardt going?
Not here.
And so Gephardt,
How is he
as a
doing
straight,
this?
takes off.
He's just like flying away.
I can do it.
I would like to not have that happen.
Oh, okay. How are you going to prevent that?
This is a good question. So, you're just like flying off. Okay.
Think long and hard about this. -4 status.
I am going to burn my defiant charge tag to like leap off of the dragon and catch Gepard by his feet so that I pull him down with me.
I heard Grampart, and that's his new name from now on.
Grampart.
JP, as you're launching over and you grab onto Gephardt, he immediately is having difficulty continuing to move forward and fly and move at the speed, but he is still moving forward, but he's struggling. Gephardt, I'm going to need you to face danger here as he's grappling onto your feet, preventing you from moving. Facing danger is, to kind of set the situation, unless you can describe to me a really interesting way for this to turn out to be a go toe-to-toe kind of a situation.
Well, I can explain to you what he's going to do here, and then you can figure out what it needs to be. He's going to just reach down and go, "Oh, JP," and he's going to just touch him on the forehead, and he is going to use Resurrection of the Organic, but he is going to use it in the following way. He is going to max out JP's cloning ability, so he is spewing clones all over the fucking place, like carpet bombing JP clones, until he can't do it anymore, which means he's going to push him until he either fucking dies or lets go.
So as an avatar,
and I have a crit left.
Well, no, as an avatar that succeeds,
right?
JP, face danger and use that other crit. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I would like to do that for sure. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta do that.
Do you want to narrate what happens, like we talked about in chat, or would you like me to?
Go for it.
Okay. So, the moment that starts happening, a couple of these clones start popping off. JP vibrates and lets go, and he and the clones all begin to kind of fall down. But you see that there's one clone that's just sort of last popped into existence, right? And you see JP's body sort of continue to plummet and lands and just looks completely devastated. And the other JP clones are popping off, and they're in various stages, but they are just kind of dropping left and right. One's a baby, one's sort of deformed, one's a head only, right? All these different little ones that are popping off. But then this last one that formed comes fully formed, and as it continues to fall, it lands fully clothed, not naked JP, fully clothed as a perfect clone of JP, memories intact and all, with 0 status effects.
Yeah.
JP2O steps into action, and what does he do?
I would like. I mean, I guess Gepard's still flying away really fast, and
he is.
He tried to kill me, so I would like to stop holding back.
Okay. So I just want to say one other thing. JP 2.0 does not have the burn tag.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm gonna stop holding back.
Do it.
My goal here is to literally, basically this is JP again, very similar to what we saw with the pirates, only even more so. As the new JP, the JP 2.0 emerges, he fully embraces the mythos, and his eyes burn that unnatural gold color, and I think for the first time, this strange golden band appears around his head as well. And he is going to try to jump through the air, just grab Gephardt and just hurl him down to the ground. And I think I probably have to roll first before we find out what exactly happens, right?
Absolutely, but you can still
face
describe it.
Yeah.
Well, you'll face danger and you'll avoid most of it, but there might be some side effect. If he gets a great success, it would be like executing a hard move in some way, shape, or form against the Avatar, right?
So basically, what JP is trying to do is the mythos is taking over, and his mythos has locked onto this opponent and wants to ground him. And I think maybe like what we see is JP's eyes go golden, and Gepard's still flying away, and JP calls out, and his voice is soft, but Gepard hears it in his ears. And it sounds a little bit different than JP. It's a much more confident voice. Sounds like a voice that's come more into his own. And he says, there are a lot of oddities around here. So many, and many of them forget. They try to put me down, try to treat me poorly. But what you must understand, there are none above the heavens, nor none that walk on the earth that stand above I. For I am the great sage that is equal to heaven. And then JP, like almost like as the words are finishing, like ringing in Gepard's ears, JP is like instantly there, grabbing his leg and just trying to hurl him straight into the ground.
Okay, so because you specified this as a stop holding back move, you're going to need to roll it for your logos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, your logos, it's going to be 2d6 plus your logos. Based on that description, it sounds like it's a no return in respect to the scope or the scale of what you want to achieve. Do you think that that's appropriate, or do you think that this is actually going as far as ultimate?
So I could see either at least no return, but I could see either. And my reasoning here is with like the JP doing the perfect cloning, as well as the stop holding back move. It's almost simultaneously kind of answering one of his mythos questions at once about the whether he's the true clone. And I think that this is really the impetus for JP to stop really living in the past, right? Like he's got a theme book that's all about who he was before now. He's the former champ as his identity. And this isn't like him like being like, oh, now he doesn't do martial arts or no martial arts anymore, but he's ready to stop living as JP, the formal martial arts pro, and he's ready to start living as JP, the Rift, JP, an important player in the city. And so that's why I think it's definitely at least no return.
Okay. So if you want to roll it as no return, go ahead. Otherwise, if you want to describe it even more to the ultimate, because if you succeed, then you will. So in this particular case, even though that part has hit the Avatar state, he will be facing something that is close to Avatar-like as a result. So, and given what I just read in chat, or in the Zoom chat, you can use one of those if you want to do this.
All right. Well, let's talk the consequence first, because I think that'll help me understand whether it would be no return or ultimate.
No crits and stop holding back.
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Thank you.
That's
I
fine.
forgot that we made that roll. That's a table roll. That's right.
I think probably success or fail, JP should have to dump the theme book. I don't know what you guys think, though. No? All right, then it's probably just no return.
Well, so hold on a second, right? So are you really looking to see this be the evolution point for JP? Like a real significant evolution point? Then if it's the case, then I think you really can make the argument that ultimate makes sense.
I think no return fits best. It's definitely like a linchpin moment for JP. It represents like him actually like attacking Gephardt, who's been trying to goad him the whole session. There's a lot going on. I think no return fits better, and we'll let the dice decide whether it's just him burning all of his tags or if it's an actual conflict.
Yeah, I think like ultimate would make sense if it was like the dragon.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Rolling +2.
You burn all your tags in your theme book, number 1. Number 2, narrate bringing Gephardt to the ground. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's out of the fight at all. It just means that you've been able to control the situation for the moment. So please narrate what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely like I think it's like kind of similar to what we saw Gephardt's son do to Thor at one point, or to Bjorn rather, where it's like Gephardt's trying to like fly this way, right, away from the group, and JP just jumps and is all of a sudden there and just grabs him by one foot and just throws him across his body all the way to the other side. So he's trying to like throw him into the ground and back towards the group.
Grabbed, thrown, wings unable to compensate for the sheer momentum and speed. You have to kind of let it happen a little bit, Gephardt. You are flying directly towards Flora and Anatoly and Malcolm there towards the ground. The two dragons are, kind of circling each other, trying to figure out what the situation is as JP continues to his arc and lands. Gephardt, you're in that situation. What are you doing?
Gephardt crashes to the ground and the sapphire wings shatter as he lands. His breath is launched out of his body with as much force as anything that JP has experienced in this session. And as he lands, and as the rest of the other, he's kind of in the same proximity now as Flora and Malcolm and Anatoly, and above as JP is flying. All of them would see the following. The left side of Gephardt's head explodes. And there is a flash of blue and no more.
Like guts go everywhere?
Like you just see a pop, a flash of blue, and Gephardt goes still.
Flora scratches her head a little bit. I've seen a lot of death in my day. I've never seen that. Anatoly?
Anatoly says, quick, grab her. And the blue fairy begins to flutter away on small wings, trying to escape.
Can I throw the stick I'm holding at her?
Just out of curiosity, why a stick?
Because that's what I'm holding.
She grabbed a stick and said, "Yar."
Sure. Throw your stick at her.
I don't think it's gonna hit. It's just that's what she would do. All right. Dead of night. Dead of night. That's really it.
Okay, and so there's gonna be a negative to this because you're throwing a stick. She's a tiny target. I mean, tiny.
Okay. So I'll just take that off. To compensate
Sure.
for that.
Sure, just make it just a straight up roll.
What am I rolling?
2d6.
Your choice. Hit him with all you got, or take a risk. I don't know. Pick one that seems appropriate.
I don't know. Just do whatever.
Just roll 2d6. Stick goes flying by as she kind of flutters around and begins making her way.
She looks at Anatoly and goes, "You have goons?"
No,
Don't fly.
JP wants to try to jump through the air and just crush this fairy between his two hands.
Okay. So you're a good distance away, though. You jumped like way far away at this point, so you've got to jump back to do that. So I'm imagining you're coming back in as that's happening. So while you're kind of coming back in to assess the situation, Malcolm, What's going on with you?
Man, there's so much going on. How visible is this bright explosion of blue and this fairy?
The visual explosion of it happening right in front of you is just right in front of you.
Okay.
But she's fluttering away. She's getting away.
Yeah. And we're on a road, right?
You're in the middle of the blue-colored district, very close to the old quarter. So
Okay. So there's plenty of streetlights and car headlights.
it's one of the more rundown neighborhoods. It's very close to the docks and the old quarter at the same time. So
did Anatoly get out of the car?
Oh yeah, he's out of the car. He's kind of assessing the situation, trying to support Flora.
Okay, so he sees Flora throw her stick, realizes that, girls can't be pirates. Points a sword at Anatoly, and in saying, "Have at thee, dark and sinister man," the shadows flare up around him, and they peel off the ground and grab the fairy.
Grab the fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to need to roll this because this is Avatar versus Mythos.
Sure. Fuck. Imagine things of life, shadow manipulation, loose shadow. Bangarang and everything's a game. Unless you have a... Oh, I can't roll weaknesses. I'm an avatar. So those are happening.
Hold on a second. How does Bangarang apply?
Because this is dope, and it's a fairy.
How does Bangarang apply?
That was it. Bangarang is just for cool shit. I said a cool thing. I said, have at the dark and sinister man.
Bangarang's when you call the guys, isn't it?
No, crow call is when I call the guys. Bangarang is just when you do cool things. So the have at the dark and sinister man was cool. That's how.
Okay,
If not, you can take that off. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's fine. The status of there's a story element that's going to affect a negative on this, which is the fact that it's a mythos.
Mm-hmm. So what's the number?
Also the fact that you were engaging Anatoly
Mm-hmm.
means you're a little bit distracted.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a -2 there.
Okay. -2. And what am I rolling for this?
Is this what is this? A change the game, take a risk?
I mean, take a risk is pass or fail, right? I think it would be that.
Okay.
Come on, RNG! Oops, didn't mean to roll twice. Either way, killed it. I nailed it.
Okay. So as you do, the shadows kind of come up. Describe to me the grabbing of the fairy and what happens next.
Yeah, so like there's street lights, right? So all the shadows are kind of all over the place, and there's like headlights, and there's like a big bright flare. And as soon as Anatoly gets out and says, grabbed her, and Flora throws the thing, he realizes what it is and that someone else wants it, and he grabs it because pirates don't get treasure in my book. And so basically all the shadows that are like in between the lights begin to slowly peel off, and they kind of coalesce into a giant hand that peels off and grabs it and then sinks back down.
Taking her where?
Man, Shadowland? I don't know, Johnny. Where do shadows go? That was just narratively cool. I don't know.
As the hand kind of comes down and brings her, bringing her pulling down, you hear a voice from behind you. Malcolm,
Ooh.
You need to let her go. It's Flicker.
What does Flicker look like?
To you, Flicker looks like a small fairy, all done up in red hair, red outfit. Her rings have a red twinge to them. To everybody else, they see the red aura around her, but she looks full-sized.
Flora steps between Malcolm while he's distracted between Malcolm and Anatoly.
Anatoly looks very surprised, by the way, at the turn of the situation. His eyes are wide.
JP?
When JP gets back to the group, his eyes are like rapidly fading in color until they're back to normal, and he runs over to Gephardt and is trying to see if he's still breathing. He's gonna try to like do CPR if not.
Half of Gephardt's head is gone.
Oh! I thought you said you
He's gonna be okay, guys. He's gonna mouth to mouth in the giant hole in his head.
You said his head didn't explode and there weren't guts everywhere.
No, there weren't guts anywhere. His head exploded. It shattered.
His head.
Can you still do that?
Like bits of crystal just come off his head.
There's guts everywhere. Crystal guts. JP's probably just like. I think he's just looking at the body, kind of speechless.
And in the silence, and seeing Flora kind of step over in front of Anatoly, and hearing the voice behind him, he kind of wheels on the hood of the car, and he holds one sword out, and he now holds the second sword that Gephard had kind of up over his head, and he looks at Flicker and says, "Make me."
I'm not here to tell you what to do, Malcolm. I'm asking.
You just did.
Let her go, please.
Why should I? I have a good mind to catch you too.
She can't hurt anybody else.
I didn't think she was going to hurt anyone in the first place. Al donates $25. This is all to Gephard. I don't know. Make an NPC of some random doctor or some crit successes. Go crazy. Have fun.
Gephard 2.0 coming back up out of wood, out of nowhere.
It's the third Gephard. It's the second
the
wood
bird
one.
on my shoulder.
It's a little bluebird.
I mean,
He's a cricket.
For a second, when Greg said he exploded, I thought he was about to say he explodes into wood, but
Yeah, like an anime. She asks, "Where's Tink?"
Yeah,
And he says she's safe.
it's time for her to wake up.
He kind of looks down and sees that she's not moving and says, "I don't think it is."
You need to let her go, Malcolm, and we need to wake Tink up.
Man, Johnny, I think you need to roll a convince.
I don't have to roll shit. I love this game. I don't have to roll shit. You can face danger if you want.
Yeah,
but it really
what is everyone else doing while this conversation's happening? Because it's completely audible.
JP's looking down at Gephard, and eventually he's going to be like, oh my god, I killed him.
Gephard agrees.
The bird.
And
He did kill
Anatoly looks over at JP. He
I'm a
was
murderer.
altered. He was altered already. This is not your fault.
Looks over to JP. JP. I can see him. He's with his family. Or he will be soon. I'll make sure of it.
And at that, Anatoly looks over to you and says, he has one last thing to say, and he reaches out. And standing next to Anatoly is Gephard.
Oh shit.
Walks over to Gephard and puts her hand out.
Can we all see him?
Yes.
I think JP probably just breaks down. I mean, he committed murder, and now the person he killed just appears in front of him.
Hello, Flora. JP, why are you crying?
I'm so sorry. I killed
I'm
you.
sorry. No. Come now, son. You avenged me. That thing had... Well, I didn't know what I had found. and it took advantage of me. I couldn't fight it.
We should have tried something else. There must have been some other way. It didn't need to do what I did. This was wrong.
And he moves as much as he is allowed. And he goes to JP.
Full range.
He goes over to JP and he hugs him.
There were things that I said that were me. Watch over Malcolm. Flicker for all of her puzzles. She is right about one thing. He needs someone to trust. But more importantly, the thing that Flicker will not tell you is Malcolm needs someone to trust him. I tried.
At that, Flicker moves over to you. You too can see her in her full avatar state, or her full mythos state. I failed you, Gephardt. I'm sorry.
No, you were just like one of my daughters, Flicker. We didn't get along and we yelled at each other about how bad our music was. But in the end, I think we have the same designs.
You could use your
What?
help one more time. You could use your fatherly advice.
I have a moment left.
And he kind of looks past everyone as if he sees something that probably only Flora and Anatoly can see. And a tear runs down into the corner of his eye.
There's some people waiting for me. I can see them. But once more for my son.
He goes over to Malcolm.
You are not well received, because Malcolm sees you as an old person, and so he basically follows Flicker around as she moves towards you, and then when Ghost Gephardt walks towards him, he points his sword at you and says, "Stay back, ghost pirate."
And Gephardt, and tell me if I go too far here, Johnny.
Please do.
Gephardt looks at Malcolm, and all of a sudden, standing in front of Malcolm is a 13-year-old boy who's wearing an Optimus Prime t-shirt and a pair of jeans with the knees out of them and a worn pair of Converse Chuck All-Stars. Hey!
Well done. Well played. He looks to you kind of quizzically at first, and then he looks to everyone else, and then back to you, and throws his head back and goes, and throws you the second sword.
He takes it and he lifts it up in a pose, hoping that you will cross it with him, as is the way of the pirate hunters.
Done. He says, "Are you ready to fight?"
I'm ready to fly.
You can fly. You can fight. You can crow. And Malcolm hops off the engine of the car and stands next to Ghost Child Gephardt. He says, "All right."
At that, you feel stir in your hand.
And he pulls out. He reaches. I guess it would be in his pocket. So he pulls out of his pocket and holds it in between him and Gephardt.
And you see Tink waking up.
Gephardt reaches out and puts his hand on Malcolm's shoulder.
As your hand hits his shoulder, all of the shadows like lose their darkness. They kind of go like not opaque, but transparent, and the blue fairy floats up.
And away.
What is
Believe in your
okay?
believe in your friends. Gephardt is old again.
I think, yeah, you would see because you have contact with Malcolm. You see that standing beside you is little Malcolm, and he looks up to you, and he looks to you, and he looks to Malcolm, and he looks to JP, and he waves, and JP can't see him, but he looks back to you and he says, "Thanks, mister." And he goes over and takes Malcolm's hand and disappears. And Malcolm looks over to you and can now see through you. And he sort of drops the sword, it clatters to the side, and he says, "Mr. G? What happened?"
It's time for me to go, Malcolm.
Where are you going?
The biggest adventure.
You're going away?
I'll leave a trail.
Will I get to see you again?
Listen to the music. I'll always be there somewhere.
Okay.
Grabs JP and touches his shoulder and walks over and touches Malcolm and spins him around so that they can all see Mr. G's family waiting for him.
He looks up to Mr. G and says, "Okay, I will water the plants, and I won't break any toys, and I will take care of little P, and then sometimes you can come back and we can play. Right?"
He leans close to Malcolm.
They need you, Malcolm. They need someone to teach them how to have fun. But you have to trust them with all your heart. Can you do that for me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you fight pirates?
Mm-hmm.
That is a perfect place to start.
And he takes Mr. G's ghost hand and sort of shrugs Flora off and walks Mr. G towards what is now a fading image of his family. And before, like, as they get to a point where he can no longer see because he's no longer in contact with Flora, he reaches around and attempts to hug Mr. G. And he says, "My dad once told me that death would be a great adventure."
It's only a good adventure if you live the best life that you can.
And as he's hugging Malcolm, Malcolm would feel the arms of 3 other individuals wrap around him as well, as Gephardt's wife and his twin daughters, Belinda and Jane, also hug him.
Goodbye, son.
Bye, Mr. G.
He's gone.
As the 4 of you, or as the 3 of you are watching this, and Anatolia is there, kind of assessing the situation, and Flicker is there as well. Malcolm, as you turn around, there is a young teenage girl standing there, blonde, dressed in blue jeans and a green shirt and a jacket. Where am I? What's going on here?
He kind of looks to her and then to everyone and walks up beside her and awkwardly holds her hand, and he says, "You're home, Talia."
Talia? My daddy calls me Tink.
I know.
What? I don't understand. Where's my daddy?
I don't know. I'm still looking for him.
We'll find him together. Don't worry.
Do you know where my mommy is?
Remember how she got sick? And they went to the special place, and there was the guy who said that they could fix her?
No.
Yeah, me neither. But I know that Mom was sick, and I know that Dad went to fix her, and we're gonna find him.
Okay. We're gonna find daddy?
And Mom.
Okay. And you feel her hand sort of wrap tightly around yours. Flicker, kind of looking on at this whole situation, tears in her eyes. You again see her as the young woman, 24, hipster dressed. As Anatoly looks around and says, "This is a peculiar situation," and steps up to Flora. "Have I earned your trust?"
Laura, after she had reached out to Mr. G and he walked away, opens her hand to the bird that came back. Malcolm. And if he turns, she'll throw it to him.
He catches it with his free hand.
She's gonna link her arm in his and say, "I think I need a drink." She'll look down to JP. "Get yourself fixed up. There's always more adventures to be had." And she leaves with him in one of the other cars.
Well, so as you link arms with him, he says, "Well, my dear, our business is not concluded here. The boy is safe. Your friends," and he looks down to the body of Gephardt. "Is this satisfactory?"
I wouldn't use that choice of words as she's looking at Gephardt. But you did what you could.
"Have I earned your trust?"
Enough of it for now.
He takes both of your hands and he looks at you and he says, "Okay, now I have a little bit of business to finish up with then." He steps back and he turns to Flicker and he says, "You're coming with me." And he reaches out and before she can even flutter away, grabs one of her wings. And two of his individuals, dressed in gray, looking the same, grab her. And she starts to struggle. And they begin to take her to one of the cars. "Damn it! What's going? These are you guys?" And she's starting to panic. And Anatoly looks back to you. "This is just business. You understand?"
No. Are you going to hurt her?
"I told you. I only deal in information. And she is the best at acquiring it.
Question.
I don't hurt people."
She doesn't look comfortable right now.
She has been avoiding my contact. She is not the friend that you specified. And he begins to turn. That drink will await you at Persephone's when you're ready for it. Until then. And he turns as Flicker is continuing to be escorted into one of the cars and forced in.
She walks over. No, I'm not gonna be an asshole.
Vidalis.
Do it. Do it.
Good.
You sure?
You see her sort of have a face of remembrance. We used to fight like this when you were this stubborn. And she walks over, helps JP up. I'll be finding you shortly. And she's going to limp him to the hospital.
He
JP,
smiles. Go ahead.
JP's gonna call out at him as he like goes to turn. He's gonna say, Vidalis, your other dragon friend. What's his name? Her name?
Come have a drink sometime. JP, is it? Join me at Persephone's. And he smiles. And he's about to get into one of the other cars, the same car that Flicker is in. And he says, oh, Flora. And he holds up an envelope. And he walks back over. And he hands it to you. He says, I almost forgot. I work a little faster sometimes with certain bits of information. I hope this helps. And he steps back, smiling, and goes back to the car. And drives away.
So before they start to drive away, Malcolm looks around and sees that they're outnumbered by people and that JP is broken. And that
Well, he's not anymore. He cloned himself.
Oh, right.
It's perfectly cloned JP2O.
That's true. And for a second, he considers jumping in there and fighting everyone, because that's the Malcolm thing to do. But as the cars begin to move, he reaches down and picks up one of the shattered pieces of sapphire. And I'm going to change the game. With, I think, everything I just rolled before, as all of the shadows on the ground become road spikes.
Why?
Just out of curiosity, why?
To give her a shot to get away.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Oh, there shouldn't be a -2 on there, unless you want a -2 on there. I accidentally left that clicked.
No, you can totally do that. But as the tires just kind of begin to pop, he leans out and looks. He's seen you, Malcolm. And the vehicle just continues to move forward on the ramps.
I expected run flats. Malcolm looks up to everybody and sees their disapproving faces and just kind of shrugs. I tried.
Had to try.
Aura looks down to JP. Are you okay? You're different.
Yeah. Malcolm, how does ice cream sound? I think we all deserve some ice cream.
How many toppings can I get?
I'm buying whatever you want.
Yes.
And when they start walking, she's gonna open the envelope just to have privacy, a few steps behind.
So as you open it, it's an address to a location inside of the rich district, or the high class district of Olympus. And the address reads, the home of Demi-Tier. It says in handwritten, you might want to start here. And we're going to fade to Greg.
So as everybody clears off and the body of Gepard is left there in the streets or the sidewalks or wherever else his friends let him lie, the massive hulking form of Pinocchio climbs out and the kind of shrugs off the pirate John, who I'm assuming now free of his life debt pursues his own course. And Pinocchio comes forward and gently scoops up the body of Gepard, holds him much like a babe in his arms, and as it looks up ready to leap, for a moment the light catches its left eye and it glows blue, and he leaps.
And we fade to credits.
Oh, that was so good. That's so good.
Boyfriend's kind of a dick.
Oh man, if it wouldn't be a 6/20 season finale if someone didn't cry, get angry, and die. So I mean, you know. So guys, that was the season finale of season 1 of 6/20 Metropolis, a City of Mist game here, run on 3 channels across 3 nights of the week. First on Video Store Cowboy, second here, and third tomorrow on Not So Speedrun. So if you want to see more excitement and more tear jerking or other jerking, depending on who you are, you can tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock on Not So Speedruns and watch a dope season finale. So let's go around, do our introductions, and get your thoughts on this. We'll start with the exiting Greg. So Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of the season finale?
I am Greg, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. I had a lot of fun. Gepard is was or whiz or whatever, present, past, future. Great character. Loved playing him. But more importantly, I love being on 6/20. Fantastic from the shadowy streets of Duskfall to the high rises of Metropolis. This has been an absolutely fantastic ride. Steam and Gepard are 2 of my all-time favorite characters. Playing with these guys and being GM, DM'd, keepered by Johnny has been an absolute goddamn pleasure. I love it. I love all of them. I will be watching. I'm not going to do anything else other than enjoy what is 6/20 and have a little bit more times putting my kids to bed. So until then, if you want to check me out, Grimjack21502, Twitches, Twitters. Let's just keep it about 6/20. See you tomorrow night. See you Tuesday night. See you Wednesday night. Love you guys.
And Friday night. You'll see us on Friday night. Guys, if you want to see more of Greg, you can see him Friday night on the Call of Cthulhu, the Cthulhu Days holiday stream that happens randomly. We'll be there Friday, 8 p.m. for some Wild West Easter-themed Cthulhu, I think. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. Mr. Ninja will also be there. And with that, Mr. Ninja, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of the season finale?
Thanks, Miss Ginger Ninja. I mostly play video games. Then I'm here every Wednesday night, and over on Kelsa's channel on Thursday nights, every other Thursday. I had a lot of fun. It was kind of nice getting to know, I'm just gonna go with guy who roofied me every time. That's his name now. It's Cameron. Groovy. Apparently, I don't know how to put a cloth over someone's face. I don't know how you fail that. So she's gonna stick to just killing people. We'll see next season.
Perfect. Showing some new colors, not necessarily true colors, but definitely new. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of the season finale?
I'm Sam, twitch.tv/WizenFool, Twitter @TheWizenFool. Man, this was a very, very good episode. The farewell to Gepard hit me right in the feels. I'm gonna miss Greg. It's great getting a chance to play with you, even though it was only a short 10 weeks. It absolutely flew by. That sounds like, saying that out loud, it sounds like a really long time, but I feel like we started playing this game like 2 days ago. It's very weird. Now, one thing I am wondering is, we gave up a lot of not so subtle reveals about our mythos today. Are we ostensibly still keeping those a mystery going into season 2? Should we spill our mythos? What are we doing, Mike?
If people haven't figured it out yet, I feel like we should keep them in the dark.
Yeah.
Like you don't deserve to know if you haven't figured it out yet.
And I will say that yours is exponentially, for this group, the hardest one to figure out. That's the most comments I get on YouTube as to who the hell is JP. Yep. Most people have several versions of who Flora is, all in the ballpark, but not exact, but they're there. Everyone pegs me and Greg, and no one has any idea who you are.
I said something today, and I'm not going to spoil it for those who didn't, but there was a line that I said today that if you type into Google, you would instantly get my mythos.
I saw that. So, that was good.
I was really impressed with how much of a reveal that was, actually.
That was good.
Yeah, it was a really good reveal without being like completely overt about it. So awesome.
Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
gonna miss Greg's sass mostly.
Greg, I miss you already.
Well, it played a whole nother, almost a whole nother, series before this. So
Yeah, Greg, this has been 40 weeks of nonstop role playing.
that's why he's leaving.
I know. I would too, man. If it weren't my channel.
I have had enough. No,
I'll see you on Mondays, Greg. Can't wait.
Done.
Perfect. So, Johnny, I saw the ending of last night's finale. It was action-packed and ended in violence. This ended quite the opposite way, and I can only imagine how tomorrow's going to end. So you are on a roller coaster of a week. So who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this finale?
Video Store Cowboy everywhere except on Twitter, where it's Vid Store Cowboy. I won't go into my feelings on that. GM for Six&Twenty all over the place. Tonight was always going to be bittersweet because losing somebody from a cast. Last time we lost somebody, mid-season or mid-show, it was Louise, and that was an emotional, tearful affair. This is a little bit different in that this is a completely new set of characters. This is a completely new story. It still doesn't make it any easier to lose somebody. Greg, it was amazing having you at the table. Anytime, I will be there. I would like to be under you at some point so I can mess with your game a little bit.
yeah, you would.
You didn't handle his wood enough, huh?
Oh no. So actually, that's something that we kept talking about last night. Was we need a phrasing jar because it's not puns, it's not dad jokes, it's phrasing. It's always phrasing. We should just donate it to charity. But that being said, it's been an absolute pleasure, and you will be missed. So thank you very much for everything you brought to the table.
Dope. So I will announce right now, guys, we are coming back for Season 2. We are going to take a week off next week. There will be one-shots in its place. I don't know who you'll see in the one-shot. You'll probably, maybe, see the new character who's coming in, who I don't have a name for the character, but the big reveal is the player that is replacing Greg is Frags. He'll be joining us on Wednesday nights with his new awesome character who I'm helping him design, and is going to be a fun, interesting addition of nonsense to this show.
Does this show need more nonsense? Wednesday night needs more
Are we getting better than Darnold?
nonsense?
You're getting at least Darnold adjacent. And if you guys don't know who Darnold is, pay attention to the YouTube, because I'm going to be posting all those one-shots with Darnold in a little bit over the course of the next month or two. And I can hear him yelling about Darnold right now in the other room. So guys, check out our social media. Go follow us there. And Friday 8 o'clock, we have Cthulhu Days, the resurrection of the Easter Bunny. Nothing's bad's gonna happen. No non-Euclidean geometry. It's gonna be fine. And Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a 12-hour charity stream for Extra Life, where we are currently, I think, sitting around $4,800. So we're definitely gonna try to break that 5,000 mark and push that as far as we can. I know we have more 6&Twenty coming in. We have the Daubers coming in. We have Salt and Sassy, Ross, and Free Huggles are going to be running a game, and we have Jacko Buddy is going to be running the 4th game of horror D&D. And speaking of the Daubers, let's go raid our buddy Exploding Dice. He's currently playing his campaign of the Daubers, which has just gone up on Kickstarter for a board game, a classic card and dice board game. So definitely go check that shit out. It's going to be dope. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. From all us to you. Bye-bye.